welcome back to another Batman News Weekly. This is episode 110 in year 3, and this is probably going to be the most jam-packed episode we've had in a really long time because we have Fandom, we have the unfortunate Titans finale, we have Ruby Rose allegations, which
it's weird. It's a weird circumstance. Like, I don't know who to believe and everything else, but we'll get to all of it.
Yeah. And then we have comics. We got a lot of Catwoman, of course, Batman, and Nightwing. So we got a lot to cover, and we're going to dive into it right now. And we are going to get Titans out of the way because, oh my God, did you think it could have been this bad?
I told everybody on my DC Alliance podcast, I said, there is nothing on this green earth, on God's green earth, that could save the finale. Nothing. Like, Batman showing up, freaking Joker being resurrected, like, nothing could have saved this season whatsoever. I was expecting the worst of the worst, and it didn't get as bad as, like, because I told you guys in the Discord that I was talking to a couple of friends, and they're like, oh man, I'm kind of looking forward to it because the conversation overall is what I really enjoy. And I was like, you say that
what
until
conversation?
Like just the overall debates and conversation that any show
I can understand
that any show kind of drives. Yeah. And I said, you say that, just wait until fucking Jason puts his hand up Crane's ass and he becomes the new Scarface. Yeah. Like, shit like that. Like, from seeing the ending, I know minor spoilers of how Juice interpreted this show. He skipped over the last 20 minutes, and legit, the show is over after, I want to say 20 minutes, and then it just 25. Goes on for another 30 minutes for no reason. Yeah. Like, that last 30 minutes is Legends of Tomorrow like esque.
This whole show was bad. We were toying with this all season, and I didn't want to ever admit this. And I was all like, this is getting close to Gotham season 4 and 5 levels of bad. And I think Titans is the new king of terrible shows when it comes to Batman related, because this, like, as much as my biggest issue with Gotham was aesthetically, it always looked kind of cool, but the writing was awful, and it was never, like, there was a lot of plot holes and a bunch of bullshit and reused stories, right? Yeah. But I can say, even though Scarecrow's story in Gotham was complete garbage and he just disappeared one day and came back looking really badass with no reason why, he looked better than this Scarecrow the whole time. He did better things, and, like, everything was just so, like, bad. But dude, this was like, I sent Clay so many text calls, because here's the thing. Clay was telling me that he needs to be somewhere later today, and he was like, can we record early? And I was like, oh shit, I'm going downtown to do some editing. I'll let you know when I get home. And he was like, don't forget Titans. And I just sent him back, fuck. I was like, because I completely forgot about Titans, because we don't have to cover anything on this show. Like, and if we do, it's usually like on a Monday, or we get books we get books way in advance, but even comics come out the day before the podcast, only 2 days before the podcast. And so we have time, but when something happens the day of recording, I just forget, because I'm already like, I'm caught up. I did everything in advance. So Titans always throws me off. So he sent me that, and I was like, God damn it. I was like, I gotta watch this shit. I'm all over here, like, editing and having a good day, and then I have to do that shit. And dude, what did I send you? Like, holy shit.
The very first thing Juice sends me is, fuck off. They are not about to use the Lazarus Pit on the entire city.
Yeah.
And all I did was laugh, because I didn't want to give him any hints as of what was going on in this.
I was hoping he was going to. I was like, I usually hate spoilers, but I was like, dude, anything to just get me to stop watching this show. It's followed by Shut the Fuck Up. Then I said the lasso reaches to heaven, which we'll get into that. Yeah. And then I put this awful is fucking awful. Well, that's how bad. I meant to say this show is fucking awful. And then I asked him, can I stop watching after they punch Crane? This is about 25 minutes, 30 minutes into the show. and the whole episode was about 56 minutes. And I was like, can I stop watching because this is Guardians of the Galaxy Wish team. This Guardians of the Galaxy Wish team is starting to piss me off. And then at this point, it's fucking they start playing Purple Rain or a song or whatever, and they're like, it's Purple Rain. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And I was like, I'm done. And at that point, I just started pressing 15 seconds ahead on because there was not, I learned this about HBO Max, there is not a speed up option. So you can't blaze through things because I was going to watch this on 1.5 times speed.
Yeah.
Like I was going to do that. And there's no option for that. So after the Purple Rain thing, I was like, no, 15 seconds. Or I was like, all right. I was like, is this anything? Nope. Okay, go. Nope. For the last 20 plus minutes, I was not going to watch that show. I was like, no. I saw the ending, which let's just dive into it because everything about this episode is garbage.
We open up with the secret of Argus being in Gotham the entire time.
Yeah.
They name dropped Roy Harper. And this assistant to Barbara was a badass the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. When you get to a point of like half of your city dying and or going crazy from drinking water, and you have like a secret organization is just like, let's see how everything goes down. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like more so because at the end of the episode, when you see like where Argus was hiding the entire time was within literally the wall shifted and there was an entirely different room of Argus agents.
Wait, so I maybe I saw this wrong, but I thought that was Barbara's office because it has a table. It had the table in it.
Oh, really?
It might have been because remember at this point
I was about to say
like
I just imagine like all those people like working and then when GCPD comes in, they all have to be quiet and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, because fucking her, I believe it was her table where it has what is it?
Like the screen and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that, and obviously she's like, we redecorated because they kicked everybody out or whatever. You know what I mean? So they could easily get in there.
Yeah, they cleaned house or whatever for the GCPD.
I didn't have a problem with the Argus thing, but I also didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So like, I was like, all right, it is what it is. I mean, at least her saying she was an Argus and she was able to kick all those guys' ass made sense instead of her just being a random cop and she took out 3 cops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, all right, she's a badass from Argus. That's cool. So yeah, that was stupid. And then, so that was at the start of the thing. Cause in my notes, I just put Argus and then I put not bad for some reason. And then I remember I skipped the last episode, y'all. So I don't know what the fuck's happening, but we skipped to Donna using a car as a shield.
Yes.
Which this was stupid.
So the whole reason why is because like you found out like there's people within Gotham that still want to like take their city back,
Yeah.
Because it's just a cliche. There's whenever there's a story like this, there's always a group of individuals that's like, I'm not leaving for nobody. It's always
300 syndrome.
Exactly.
Yeah. 300.
Yeah. So like the big thing with this is last episode, because you missed it, Tim was willing to say, hey, Donna, fuck you, fuck my family. I'm going to save Gotham by myself. Like that was a legit storyline last episode.
Okay. So was there interactions with him and his parents? Because at the end of this, when that little scene's over, she's like, go save the city. And I was like, what?
Yeah, no. So that's like the whole big thing of there is like, Tim, you're a kid. You're not a superhero and all of this.
So they had that discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, that was kind of stupid.
And then it transitioned to like, oh, go get him, son. You're born to be a superhero.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, okay, whatever. This is a little too on the nose.
But if I didn't see the last episode, so at least they did that because I thought they were still mad at him from the previous, 2 episodes ago when they were like, we'll talk about this later, when he revealed that he had a secret lair in their rice fucking cabinet this whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then the next thing we see is Connor, Starfire, and Blackfire. So last episode, he actually like sabotaged Blackfire's ship and made it explode. And so in this, they're like, "What the fuck did you do? What's wrong with you?" And he's all like, I'm sorry. I didn't know." She's like, "Well, fuck you." And Blackfire was all like, "Oh, I'm not mad because it was a selfish thing to do, and I'm a selfish person too, so I would have done the exact same thing."
Yeah, but
What the fuck?
she's getting that super dick though. That's why. She's all
That
like,
was so
super dick.
stupid. It was
Yeah.
so stupid.
Is it me or has her acting got worse?
I think so.
It was bad in this episode.
And I think like what it's supposed to be is like now she's all like she's trying to be stoic because she's trying to be a queen now because now she is rightful for the throne or whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Since she got her powers, she's been awful.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what happened? I didn't know powers made you seem fucking worse. And again, that's what we talked about it in that episode where when she got the power, she seemed like she changed. But now she's just the fucking same. Like now she's still on the good side. Like that might, even though we hated the idea of her possibly being the big villain next season, that just makes it even worse that she's not going to be bad and now she's just good. And like, I don't know, man.
I don't know what this show wants to be. Like, I honestly don't. Yeah. And like so many people are like, "Oh man, by the end of the season, it's just like we're finally a team and season 4 is gonna be the greatest season ever." And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, people, what's wrong with you? Yeah. So we go from there. It's where do we go from there?
So I have one. I had to write this note down because they made a big deal about it. Tim knocks out one cop with one kick.
With one kick? And he's like, I learned it from YouTube.
Yeah, Jesus, I was like, Christ. God, that is the most Gen Z thing I've ever fucking heard. And that's showing my age. But here's the problem what I have with that. It's not a knock on Gen Z. It's a knock on writers thinking that's what Gen Z would say.
Yeah.
And I hate when characters, they try to put them like, oh, he's Gen Z, so he needs to talk like this. Because, like, that's just another form of, like, oh, he's black, so he needs to talk like this. He's white, he needs to talk like this. You know what I mean? They're just putting a generation on it. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, that was lame. There was so many one-liner lame things in this episode.
So get this, okay? So from this point, we see Jason and Tim, or no, Jason and Dick, and they're like, okay, what do we do? And he's like, oh, so I could be a Titan again? He's like, no. If the Titans see you, they'll go ballistic. And I'm like, okay, so you're still hiding him behind, this whole facade of like trying to save Scarecrow. Like, it's going to come out. And it does. And it's like, doesn't even play well. It's really stupid because Beast Boy's like, you should have told me about Jason.
And what also didn't make sense was like Crane in the episode was talking about like, oh, he's been able to get near, Grayson or whatever, just according to plan. And I'm like,
exactly. What? It's jumping all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Like Crane is like, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. It's a part of the plan. And then the very next scene, hey, Jason's here. Oh, good. Better if he's here anyway. It's like,
but that wasn't the worst thing with Crane. So
the worst thing with Crane is the fact that he was in the Batcave setting up bombs, and then the literal very next scene, he teleported into Gotham.
It was so bad. Like, so bad. And this is what I talk about. This is the kind of shit because I know there are people out there, like, I have a stigma and stink on me for the rest of my life to some Gotham fans or people that used to watch review channels are like, oh yeah, Juice, he's fucking, he's super negative, man. He's never positive about anything. Like, that's just how people are going to be, and they're going to think I hate everything. My biggest thing is I love good writing. And when you don't catch shit like this, that just means there's bad direction, there's bad writing, there's bad everything.
Again, I told you this because you only watched the first 2 minutes of last episode. In last episode, Dick Grayson as Nightwing in the Nightwing costume went into the Lazarus pit and then came out with a completely different outfit.
Yeah, it's like terrible.
2 episodes in a row they do this. I'm like, what the fuck?
So Gotham had things like this. So where, like I said, we saw Scarecrow one season and then he like ran away. We never heard about him again. And then he was just in Arkham with a new suit. And I was like, what? Like, shit just didn't make sense. And again, people were like, well, you could assume. No, you shouldn't have to assume anything.
Yeah,
like,
no.
That's the part. And like,
especially with a main character.
Yeah. This was awful, dude. Like I literally had to rewind to make sure. I was like, wait, wasn't he just in the cave? I was like,
Same. I did the exact same
because
thing.
so just imagine this, y'all. The way it happens, it's like scene, then scene, then scene. So it's like it skips one thing and then he's back. He's in the streets, if I remember it correctly. So he's talking to Dick Grayson because he takes over the airways, right? Like he takes over
Yeah.
the radio, and then he's talking about the bombs, or he's reciting some stupid poem or some bullshit. And then Dick's like, oh, whatever. And then a building blows up, and we see the green smoke, and we see some of the worst death acting that I've ever seen in my life, with people just falling over all slow, like, oh, like it was terrible.
It's
And
so weird
then,
because like it's green smoke, so you're like, okay, it's fear toxin, and it's like, no, they're just dying.
yeah, which was weird. So I was like, okay, so everybody just died. And then fucking what happens after that? Then like Dick Grayson's like, oh no, blah blah blah. And then it cuts to Crane in a gas mask in the middle of the street, like, look at what I did.
But did you notice his gas mask was
Yes.
like freaking
The
sewed?
sewn shit,
Like
yes.
it looked like his mask. I'm like, bitch, just wear your fucking mask, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, for real.
So fucking stupid. So that happens. I said bombs around the city. This is my notes. I said bombs around the city. How very Arkham Knight of you. And then I said their big idea, because at this point now they're in Tim's freaking like basically Batcave.
Yeah.
And I said their big idea is to submerge Gotham in a Lazarus pit? Question
Yeah.
mark. Oh, new plan. They're going to make a storm? Question mark.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, and it's like they try to play this weird humor, like because Connor's like, oh, I made this plan, and he like draws it onto the whiteboard, and then Donna's like, yeah, we just talked about this, and he's like, oh, but I'm the one that put it on the whiteboard.
Yeah, they tried to go very Guardians of the Galaxy, which made no sense to me.
The tone, like, I have always said that the Titans works so much better in a lighter tone, because the whole point of Robin turning into Nightwing is basically giving up all the rules that Batman set for him, and then making his own. So he's his own person. That's what made the Titans a little bit better as a team. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I was raised by Batman, so I'm going to train everybody else like Batman, and we're going to all be the Titans. Like, that's what Robin first wanted, and then he evolved into his own self. This never went that route. And instead, like, they're trying to change this tone mid-season finale to, like, I guess, tell fans, hey, we're finally going the route that everybody wanted. Yeah. And it's just like, it's too late.
Yeah, nothing felt dangerous, dramatic, or anything in this episode. Like, it was... What was the worst, cheesiest thing for you?
In this episode? Or in the season?
There was a lot of moments.
Jason's password.
60 or 42069.
Yeah.
That's another one of those writing things where I'm like, they think it's Gen Z. Like,
I said 42069 ... I hate this show.
No, you want to know mine? What do you think mine was?
Telling the joke too many times?
The
Of
thunderstorm? Donna? No, that one's close. It was Gar hitting the fucking window as a bat.
I knew you were gonna hate it.
Because that just screams Hulk from Thor Ragnarok, and I fucking hate it. He's supposed to be serious, trying to get into this house.
Like, and they try to like set you up for it, right? They're like, because he's like, oh, I've only turned into a bat once, and I was a part of a hive mind, and I was emotional, and it also wears me out, so I'm gonna be dizzy. And like the entire episode after that, you see him like breathing heavy, and he's like wobbly, and he's like trying to keep himself steady when trying to look at computer screens and everything else. I'm just like, you're overplaying it. Like, this is too much. Yeah. Like you guys are overacting. It's not good.
Yeah, it was terrible. So yeah, Gar hits the window, and then there's a moment of like,
how did you feel? Because we did get this tease in Fandom, which we will talk about after this. But how did you feel about Tim Drake knowing about Selena Kyle?
At this point, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's weird. But I mean, he already knows that Bruce Wayne's Batman and all this stuff, so I guess he knows who Catwoman is. And maybe
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm having to make my own headcanon here, so it's just a bad situation. But I didn't give a shit. Like, at least they didn't say it was like Andrea Beaumont as the one that got away or something, you know what I mean? Which would have been Phantasm.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. At least I mean, that means that this Catwoman is maybe still alive and Bruce isn't a part of her or whatever. Again, I just don't care. Because then at that point, yeah, that's when they're like breaking into the house already. Jason's trying to save the day with them. What else do we got? That's when the whole Lazarus pit thing is going on. Also, Raven kills. That's just something that just happens.
Yeah.
She just disintegrates people, no problem. So there's that. Then we get to see this whole, like, they get the Lazarus pit and they send it up into the sky. And this is how it makes rain and it turns everything purple. And they're like, oh, we didn't account for lightning. And then, of course, Donna Troy shows up and makes a lightning joke.
I said it right here. I said, they did it. They made the joke about her death. That's 3 times too many.
Yeah, for sure. The first time was not bad.
No. You make a joke about it. You're telling us, hey, we know we fucked up. Here's a small little joke. That's fun. And then you do it again. You're like, okay, you're treading water here. Like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
And then they do it again in the finale. It's like you're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, it was bad. And then so she's like, makes her joke and she throws the lasso to heaven.
Dude, I legit thought the camera was going to go back to her and her like just stand there for a little bit, like just waiting for it. Like it was horrible. Like, I understand. So there's in the mythos of Wonder Woman or whatever, the lasso is as long as it needs to be.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Oh, is that how it works?
There's some stories have made that kind of like canon.
Okay, so it's like Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, how it again the same way I say about this story or about Titans in general. They write conveniently to get from point A to point B. It doesn't need to make sense. They just like, oh, well, freaking Nightwing knows that Donna is alive because he knows. Like, there's no explanation, but you just say it, so therefore it is. Same thing with Donna and her lasso. Oh, it needs to reach up into heaven because it needs to reach up into heaven. Like, there's no canonical reason for it, but we're going to make it happen because we are the writers of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was stupid. It looked horrible, too.
Yeah, it didn't look great. And then, like, you see her get, like, she absorbs the electricity from the freaking lightning. And I'm just like, okay, so what makes this any different?
Man, if you've ever been to a carnival, they're pretty dangerous. So maybe it was just some faulty bad wiring that she's never been exposed to. So, like, yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe she just cut the red wire.
Yeah, that's a thing too. Although I feel like that is a Batman thing to do, I guess security wise, because everybody's stupid, but
like they kept on saying, cut the red wire, don't cut the red wire, the red wire, the red wire. And they just kept repeating it. I was just like, we get it. Okay, move on. Like, this is something that this episode did a lot, is that they just lingered on things. I was just like, this is so stupid.
This all happens in the first 20 minutes.
20 minutes. That's it.
Because at about the 25 mark is when this thing starts ending, if I'm not mistaken. They go into the cave after Jason saves everybody or whatever happens, blah, blah, blah. Dick Grayson doesn't kill somebody, but he does throw his thing and the guy shoots his gun and it backfires into his face and he dies or whatever. We see Jason Todd show up and they're all going to go down to the cave. And he's like, this is a Titans victory, not mine. And they say they're whatever. And he's like, I was never here. And he leaves. That's how that kind of relationship thing goes. They go down to the cave, which is Tim, Gar, and Nightwing. And he's just there. And they're like, I had Barbara do a duplicate screen, so you can't launch anything. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. And then he tells Tim, the most unexperienced person,
hey, thank you.
Do you want to end this? And he goes, punches Scarecrow, who's had his ass beat, I can assume, 1,000,000 times by Batman. So who should be able to take a punch is KO'd in one fight, in one thing. And I was just like, I just put, what the fuck was that ending?
I said, he's a fucking kid. Why would Nightwing let a random kid arrest Crane?
Yeah. And like that's just dangerous. Like he has no training just because he watched a
You
video
don't
on
know.
YouTube.
You don't know what Crane has in his pockets,
Yeah.
behind his back, in his sleeves. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
and they just let Tim just go up there and slap him. And Crane doesn't even try to fight back. It was is this supposed to be dramatic or is it supposed to be Batman 66?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fucking awful.
As soon as that happened, I wrote down, fuck, this is only the halfway point.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get the Purple Rain reference.
Yeah.
So Raven basically absorbed all of the evil and fear that is apparently, I guess, just stagnant in the Lazarus Pit. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, because continuity reasons or with the Lazarus Pit is every time you go into it, it makes your soul a little bit more evil every time.
Yes. So are they saying that she was able to take that evil from the Lazarus Pit?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, when they started to use the water from the Lazarus Pit, I'm like, all these fucking people are going to go psycho just like Jason. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Why isn't Dick Grayson psycho?
You
know?
And
here's the thing, too. I can kind of maybe somewhat plausible believe it just because we know Dionysium exists, and it's essentially the Lazarus Pit without the evil properties.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. But, yeah.
So the rain starts falling down. It starts to be like this happy-go-lucky, like, oh yeah, the Titans saved the day, yeah. And like the scientist from like episode 2 comes back, and he's just like, oh, I have this like this perfect plan for you, Blackfire. Oh my gosh, you're Raven. Oh my gosh, you're like, and he's like pointing, and he like takes a picture. And I said, this scientist should have died in the very first episode that he was shown in. And then you see Bruce Wayne in his car, and I said, oh great, Bruce.
Yeah.
And then, because at this point you're skipping. I actually watched it. So you see Bruce and Dick Grayson in the Wayne Manor, and he's like, oh, this is not the welcome party that I really wanted for you, but at least you have a home. He's like, yeah, at least I have a home. And then Jason's there, and I'm like, ooh, maybe Bruce will kill Jason. And then they have a conversation, and they have the conversation that isn't Under the Red Hood. That's
really?
Like they have the like, hey, when you killed Joker, did you do it for me?
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce says yes. And like Jason says thank you, and he walks away. And then I said, fuck, Bruce didn't kill Jason.
Yeah, that sucks. I mentioned in Discord that had Donna showed up and killed Red Hood, I would have gave this episode a 10 out of 10.
Dove,
even with everything. Donna. Oh, Dove. Did I say Donna? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dove. I would, with everything. Well, her name's Dawn, isn't it?
Dawn, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, with everything that happened in this episode, if Jason would have died, it would have been like 10 out of 10. Like, obviously, it wouldn't have been serious, but I would have gave it 10 out of 10 just for his death.
I still, like, so they set up, this, I think, sets up, unfortunately, a Red Hood spinoff, but they also set up a Donna Troy spinoff at the very end.
Yeah, we don't need either of those.
No.
This show should have got canceled. But anyway, let's just jump to the ending because they're all going to go on a road trip, guys, because that's way better than getting on a private plane, which, hey, that's to each your own. Me, personally, I'd rather get somewhere quick than,
no shit.
Than driving. Because we live in Texas. It takes 9 hours to get out of this bitch from where we're in the center of it, and it takes 9 hours to get out. But anyways, they are going to go on a road trip. We see Tim is going to join, and they're like, you come in, and Donna's going to go do her own fucking thing. But they're like, we got to stop somewhere first. And they go to Arkham, and they're like, Crane's all like, oh, we've come full circle, blah, blah. And he's like, not quite. Raven shows up, and fucking tentacle porns Scarecrow all the evil that he did in this season, essentially.
No,
and makes him have nightmares.
it's all the evil from season 1, 2, and
Oh
3.
yeah, that makes sense
So
because they show a lot of Raven.
yeah, it's like symbolizing, hey, this is no longer going to be what Titans is about.
Yeah,
Like, I bet you anything that's the way the writers went. They're like,
yeah,
hey, all the darkness that was in seasons 1, 2, and 3, it's all in Crane. So season 4 is going to be bright and shiny.
yeah. So I'm sorry, but I think that makes Nightwing worse than Batman. Like, just
Yeah.
yeah, he fucking because at least like I don't think Batman's a character anymore in this show because he killed somebody. He's not Batman anymore. But Dick Grayson was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you suffer. Like, I'm not gonna put you out of your misery. You're gonna suffer, and you're gonna go crazy for the rest of your life and just suffer in this cell. So yeah, I was just like, cancel this show. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't want to cover the next season.
No.
Yeah.
I'm already gonna have to do it probably for my DC Alliance show. I don't want to have to do it twice.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll be covering this, y'all, unless it gets good, which I doubt it. It's been 3 seasons of subpar episodes. I don't see this happening.
You need to get a different showrunner. You need
Yep.
to get a different script writer. You need to do you need to make a brand new show.
Yeah. Yeah. They could have ended it here, to be honest. Like, with the way that ending ended, it could have ended.
Yeah. And I kind of think that's what they were doing. Is like, hey, just in case, let's make this like hey, our last hurrah.
Yeah.
And end on a happy note. So,
do you think the next season is going to be them traveling America and just saving the world?
That's going to be stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but like at the same time, because of COVID, and if they have the ability to use the volume,
yeah,
they could do that.
Yeah,
because they don't need to be, because they were a group of, or a production that was in Canada. They don't have to do that anymore if they don't want to.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'd be very interesting, man. I don't know. I definitely don't want to cover this show again. It is so awful to waste time on it. And yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, to be honest, I just gotta say, if you like anybody that reviews this show and says it's good, you're trash. Like, there's no way you can feasibly defend this show. If you like it for like all, and you say that, yeah, it's fucking terrible, but I still like it, that's fine. But if you're just saying nothing was wrong with the show and like you're not calling out anything, and if you're viewers that watch people like this, they're just saying it's good so you keep watching their content.
Like, yeah, no, I've already told people, if you believe that this show is good and it deserves every spinoff or movie and or season that they get after this, I cannot be friends with you.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That's just, I can't.
Yeah, it's awful. Anyways, let's go ahead and get away from Titans because fuck that show. Let's go ahead and dive into Fandom. What do you want to run through everything, or you want to do the highlights? Like, what was your overall thoughts of Fandom? How about that?
All right, overall thoughts. Black Adam is going to be the most badass Mortal Kombat movie I've ever seen. Fucking, I was disappointed at the Flash.
Ooh, okay.
Let's see, what else did we get? Flula Borg and all the other people that were in the middle talking and panels and everything else, like, really slowed the fucking show. Like, it was a bore. Yeah. And then the fucking Batman, dude. Holy shit.
I feel like that was really the most notable thing out of the whole Fandom, right? Like, we just were waiting for that.
Yeah, and everybody knew it. Like, DC knew it, WB knew it, and that's exactly why they didn't put out a schedule for this year like they did last year. Because they were like, hey, in case you don't know, we're going to just not give you a schedule so that way we could throw the Batman trailer anytime we wanted, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And made you sit there for the 3.5 hours that the stream was. And like, I was a little disappointed, like, to be completely honest. And I made jokes with people about how, like, next year they just need to fucking just Give me like eventually, like they're just gonna start cropping it down every single year until eventually it's just like, hey, here's the trailers, and it's gonna be boom, 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 done. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it should just be like a solid 2 hours of back to back to back to back. Like, it's okay if like they're like 8 minute segments, of like, yo, this is what we did during our show, blah blah. But they should just be badass featurettes.
Yeah, and I think that the panels, the one thing that I kept telling everybody, um, when I go to a convention, it's been a while since I've been to a convention, COVID and everything.
Yeah.
But when I go to a convention and I go to a panel, I go to a panel for many reasons. A lot of those reasons being I may have the chance to ask a question to the people running that panel or the people that I'm watching in that panel. I have the opportunity of engagement with that panel. These, you don't have that opportunity. So you're just sitting there
Yeah.
and just waiting and waiting and waiting. Because we all know these people are going to eventually show us either a full length trailer, a teaser, behind the scenes look, whatever. That's the stuff that people want. And I understand. I understand WB is like, oh, but we need the views. We need the length. We need to know that we can draw you in, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, they need better organization and they need to trim the fat.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, is it was this long because they had sponsors this year.
Oh my God. Fucking
Yep.
who was it with the hat?
The
Cam Newton?
Oh yeah, Cam Newton, yeah. No, yeah, that's what it was.
Shit, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I am not gonna buy your $1,000 Superman hat.
Is
I'm
that
just
how much
not.
it is?
It's like close to that much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a high end thing, and they're handmade, so I understand it. But yeah, dude, like I didn't give a shit about a lot of that, and like I'm sorry, but some of these hosts were cringy as fuck.
Yes.
And like I don't know, man. It's just I did think Fandom was pretty much a disappointment. I will say that I was able to survive the whole thing, which was cool for me because I haven't
The
streamed that
Hat
long in a long
Collection
time.
#1 superhero, which sells for $750. Man of Steel is $950. Man of Steel 2 is $950, and Clark Kent is $750.
Yeah, only ballers gonna be buying those. Says the guy who bought an over $1,000 statue. But like, at least that's chilling there, and it's not a hat that somebody can crush right away.
Exactly.
But yeah, man. Overall, like, what disappointed you about the Flash? I'm curious.
So people are like, because I had the argument, freaking, because I watched your reactions immediately after, because we both did our own live streams.
Yeah.
I watched your reactions, and as soon as Ezra Miller was like, "Oh, we don't have anything to show you," you're like, "Bullshit! You
Yeah.
finished fucking filming. That's fucking bullshit." And we have to remember, Matt Reeves was like, "Hey, we only have 25% of the movie done. Here's a full length trailer."
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like that breaks all the rules. Like, I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, we don't have enough footage." Like,
Yeah.
that's just bullshit. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot tell me that 150% of the Flash movie is all CGI.
Yeah.
You could have picked enough footage in there to make a little bit of a better teaser. And I hate that like Sasha Kaye is just like there in the background. Like, she isn't like shown in awe or like as a badass or anything. She's just like there. And putting out the plot point that there's another Ezra, like another Barry, that was a horrible idea too.
That had to have been the hidden character, right, in those teasers, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can handle two Ezras. So
it's gonna be
him
weird.
Talking to himself, like,
yeah, it's gonna be very meta.
Yeah. But the director is saying we are gonna have some crazy surprises. So, I mean, how many points does it jump up if, like, in the Flash you see Henry Cavill's back?
Fuck, dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
because I like that would be a big one. That would be a big one. I think I kept joking around. I was like, "Oh, look, Ben Affleck's dead," and there was like, "No, that's Keaton's suit. That's Keaton's suit." Like, because there is a part in the teaser where like you see the cow and there's blood on the floor and everything else.
Yeah.
So if there is a confirmation that Henry is back because of Flashpoint, um, I think I still think I'm going to enjoy this movie,
Yeah.
but the teaser was not all that great, and I think of course they made it to like really touch the buttons of everybody that just loves Keaton,
Hmm.
because Keaton was the one narrating it. And there's a moment where Ezra like turns on the Batcave like power, and
Yep.
it's the exact same as when Batman did it with the bat
Yeah.
signal
Hmm.
in '89. Like, it was very reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
And for you to just show the back of Keaton's head, I'm like, we knew Keaton was in the movie.
Yeah.
Showing me the other Ezra, you should have had those switched.
Yeah. And when does this movie come out? Next year, right?
It's next year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird that they wouldn't drop a trailer here. Like, but I mean, maybe they wanted to look as polished as possible because people have talked shit about the Flash in before. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And maybe they're like, hey, he still runs the same, so we probably shouldn't do a trailer. I hope he doesn't run the same. Like, I get that they tried to say there's a reason for it, like he's fucking, whatever. I don't give a shit. It looks stupid. I'm sorry. I don't
No,
care if it's.
I think they're gonna really CGI the running. Like, they're
Yeah.
gonna really hide all the flaws of what it could look like
Yeah.
by just using CGI.
Yeah.
But there was, all of that. Really excited about freaking Blue Beetle.
Yes,
Like,
dude, that was probably my favorite. And I
yeah,
know I'm biased because it's Latino, but like for somebody who grew up as a Latino in a Latino household, like you don't know how important that is to see all
yes,
that shit.
they were like super passionate, and like what was the line he said? Like, try keeping a secret in a Hispanic or a
Yeah.
Mexican family. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it's the fucking truth, though, man.
Yeah. It was good, man. It
So
was good.
I'm really excited about that. Milestone getting an animated movie, I think, is pretty cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Um, I think it's gonna be HBO Max, or it's assumed that it's gonna be HBO Max, and them starting an initiative to get more people of color um, in Milestone writing and stuff. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And yeah, that all that kind of stuff was cool too. But like, yeah, it was just, it's unfortunate the milestone stuff was like the bathroom break, you know.
Yep. Hmm.
And that kind of shit is gone. I will say, as much as I thought they should have, like, the last hour should have just been banger after banger, but it was kind of nice because I actually deleted two of my reactions because they weren't doing well, and I just didn't care. I want to try my other content more importantly. But like, I didn't record one for Justice League kill or Suicide Squad kills the Justice League because I was shocked that they did it in the first hour or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, okay, I was like editing another video to upload, and then it was like, check out Suicide Squad. And I was like, the fuck? And I thought I pressed the record button and I didn't. And I was like, oh fuck.
No,
And
see,
so
but I think that one's gonna be delayed. You called me out on Gotham Knights,
yeah.
right on your freaking video. But I think Suicide Squad is gonna be delayed because we still haven't seen game footage. It's
Yeah.
only cinematic.
Yep.
And so I think it will be delayed. It'll have a date of December 21st, 2023, and then they'll delay it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I don't see that coming out, and I don't think you want both of those games coming out near each other anyways.
Mm-mm.
You want people to buy both,
Yeah,
so it would be terrible to like they will probably be at least 6 months apart.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it does seem like Gotham Knights. I like that it seems like there's going to be a skill tree. It's what they kind of
Yeah,
did out there.
and they kind of hinted at the fact that like each one of your characters are going to have some sort of advantage to the different types of talons
Yeah.
that they've created for the game. And
Mhm.
like that's how you can really play off of like switching characters mid game,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting. Because I'm pretty sure we'll play that co-op as long
Oh
as the
yeah.
schedules pan out.
Oh,
But
I've already told some friends. I haven't told Abby yet. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take like a week off when that game comes out.
yeah, so it'll be exciting to play that game. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be all that kind of be cool. But overall, man, besides like the Batman trailer. I mean, let's just talk about that because I think everything else was, okay or disappointing. Like that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah.
But the Batman trailer, I have to say, Zoe Kravitz looking fine.
Dude, I got like Alias vibes, like with the different freaking like wigs and stuff. I was like, woo.
So she got the Catwoman vibe.
Yeah, I like how if you didn't notice in the trailer, a lot of Pattinson's scenes are shaded in red, and a lot of her scenes are shaded in purple, playing off of Dark Victory and Long Halloween. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. Really, really fun play off of lighting and stuff.
Thoughts on Penguin's voice?
Dude, where the fuck is Colin Farrell?
Yeah, for real, right?
There's no way. It's so good.
Yeah.
But he looks great, dude. Yeah. And there's two shots in particular in this fucking trailer that are just fucking gorgeous. There's some sort of explosion, and Batman is just like falling down, and his cape is all like freaking going up above him and stuff. It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
it's all CGI, but it looks great. And then, of course, the ending scene where you see the POV of Penguin and Pattinson is just fucking walking up with the explosion behind him and everything. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, there's going to be some hella amazing shots in this. Of course, they had him just getting lit up by machine guns and beating the shit out of everybody.
Oh, dude, so the cinematographer for this movie is the exact same one who did the Rogue One movie with Darth Vader in the scene at the very end of that one.
Okay.
So that's why they were so similar. But dude, the moment where fucking Batman is just beating the shit out of somebody and you see Selina's face like, oh fuck, what did I get into?
Yeah, I was making that's how her pussy was gonna get pounded joke. But it was funny because like I was just like I still have this thing going on where I'm like, should I say that? Should I not say it? And then like I try to say it and then I don't say it, and I'm like, it just makes it worse. And I'm like, I fucked that joke up. I was like, I just gotta go with it. I just gotta go with the joke.
Oh man.
But I was like, yeah, she was terrified about like, is that gonna be me later? But like, yeah, it was kind of ridiculous, man. Like it was ridiculously great, I think. So you know what was funny? I watched this wrestling show called Wrestle Talk, and they do like, I think they have like a pop culture channel too, because it's a pretty big YouTube channel now, and so they spun off other channels. Well, the main guy asked another one of the dudes. He was like, "What'd you think of that Batman trailer?" He was all like, meh, and the guy was like, "What?" And he was all like, it just seems like they're still doing the edgelordy Zack Snyder grayscale stuff. And the guy was like, what? And like, it was just, I was so like, the guy even made a joke. He was like, Zack Snyder ruined superhero movies for you, didn't he? And like, so I don't know if the guy was really jaded, but he was like, yeah, I just didn't, it doesn't
look that bad. I will say this, which I think is absolutely fucking hilarious. There is a lot of people trying to make the debate that, that Batman killed somebody in this trailer.
Yeah, the shocking.
Yeah. Yes. And there's a huge debate on like if anybody's going to say anything about it, or if it's like only not okay if Zack Snyder does it. And I'm just like, motherfucker, people can get shocked.
Yeah.
It's a taser.
Yeah. Because, all they need to do, and like, even if you say, like, even if in the old movies you show Batman running somebody over, all you need is a character later on saying, like, yeah, this man was run over by the Batman. He's in critical condition, but he's going to survive. Like, that's it. And you're like, oh, he didn't die. Now, you can make the argument, like, how does Batman know that, though? Like, you can have that argument.
Well, and okay, so the big thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because there's a lot of debate on Pattinson's, like, this Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see stuff. Yes, there's a lot of emo stuff. He is.
Oh, Alana, how could you betray me, Alana?
from what you see in the panel from Reeves and Pattinson. By the way, freaking Pattinson is reading a lot of Tom King. He did say that.
So there's gonna be fucking in this movie.
There's longer there's longer panels in the China version of Fandom. We didn't get any of this stuff. Like there was a panel for Flashpoint in the China version. Wow. Yeah, and we didn't get any of that.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really really stupid for
yeah.
fandom to do that.
Well, I
But
mean, we cater to China apparently, so
yeah, but the big thing with
it's not like
this
they don't have any
is
human rights violations or anything going on. But okay.
but the big thing with this is there is this notion that Bruce Wayne is going to be figuring out how to become the playboy in
Yeah,
this trilogy rather than finding out how to be Batman.
yeah.
Like he's got like in this movie he's like, fuck, I am Batman. I know how to be Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know how to be this awkward freaking $1 billion playboy.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
I think it's stupid. So, as much as I'm gonna probably give this movie an 11 out of 10 because I do think it's going to exceed expectations,
Oh yeah.
I that concept is dumb because you, if you're rich, no matter whether you're the best person or the worst person, people automatically have a stigma of rich people.
Yeah.
Like there's a stereotype of rich people, and everybody thinks that you're entitled and that you're fucking too good for everybody else, and you would never be down to earth. So that shouldn't be hard to play up as a person. You know what I mean? Granted, I know Bruce Wayne did not live that life or whatever. He was training for so long, or he was going on vacations. But even when he was gone, there have been issues where Alfred is like, he's out in Russia, you know, with ballet dancers and all this shit, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like, you know what I mean? That's always been his guys. Like even when he was training. And so like yeah, I just don't I think that's kind of bullshit, but I guess you gotta come up with something, right? I don't know. It's kind of lame.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting because I mean this is a year 1, year 2, year 1.5 type story.
Yeah.
Like it's very odd the way that Reeves is wanting to tell this story. There are rumors and rumors as far as like theories, not
Mhm.
necessarily like, hey, there's breadcrumbs for this.
Yeah.
There's theories that Joker was defeated in year 1
Ugh. No.
and the people in the white like makeup or whatever, the face paint
Mhm.
are like his goons.
That would be terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, cuz I don't know how canonically it is. I know Joker's been around almost as long as Batman. Wasn't he like an issue like 2 or 1 of
I th-
Detective?
I think
Like
it was the second or third issue after Detective 27.
yeah. So Joker's been around just as long, and that's why he's his most iconic villain. But I don't think Batman. I mean, I guess if you go off of Snyder's run, then he was, you know, the Red Hood. You know,
Yeah.
if you believe that part of his origin, because you know, depending on how you want to see the Joker, you don't know if he's the Red Hood or not. But I think that's, you know, I think Alan Moore has pretty much punched that into people's heads that
Yeah.
he is the Red Hood. And I think it works because you still don't know who he is, what his name was, or any of that stuff. Even though Jeff Johns tries to say something, we
No,
ignore
God.
those last 2 pages. But yeah, I don't want him to be beaten because then why? If he is beaten in year 1, do not show him in the second or third movie. I don't want to see that.
Well, like I've told people the problem with that is if you tease Joker, people expect Joker.
Yeah,
Like they're fuck everything else, Joker now. Like that's how
yeah,
people are gonna act. And it just takes away from your film. It takes
yeah,
away from your plan or whatever you want to do with it. Like regardless of if you're planning on Joker,
yeah.
people are like, no, Joker now. Like Joker now. We need
No.
pictures, we need set photos, we need like and it's just like, why, dude?
So the way I've always like, you know, when I fantasize about life and being like, if I ever got to direct a trilogy of Batman, right? Obviously, I feel like it would be really hard to fuck up a trilogy for Batman. You know what I mean? I would not have the Joker in any of the movies. And what you would do is at the following Comic-Con or whatever, after the trilogy, the third movie's come out, you'd be like, you come out secretly and be like, I'm coming back for one more movie. And then you show that it's a Joker movie. That way you got a trilogy without the Joker, but you're making one more because who wouldn't like who would pass up the chance to make a Joker story?
A
You know what I
Batman
mean?
Joker story,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would do a trilogy focusing on a bunch of other villains and then come back for that fourth one being like, this is my last movie and it's going to be the Joker, you know?
Yeah.
If you're if people think you're like Nolan or Matt Reeves, how Matt Reeves will be seen as a god after this trilogy is what I'm assuming. You know, I think people would be like, a fourth film? Like, even though you can shit on Spider-Man 3 as much as you want, people were hyped for Spider-Man 4 with the rumor of it being Venom and Carnage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people were waiting for that, and we didn't get it. So I was like, well, that fucking sucked. So it's possible for, people to come back and do a fourth film. So yeah, that's what I would do. But I don't think you tease Joker at all. I think you make him be a surprise.
Yeah.
Or he's after credit scene.
I think it needs to be a surprise. Overall with Batman, super excited about it. We're 5 months away. Like, it's like I don't think we need another trailer. I know that we will probably get more TV spots, and we will probably get like one last trailer to like really hype people up.
Yeah.
But I don't really need it.
Do you think this is going to be the first $1 billion film post-COVID?
I don't know. Like,
because Marvel just pushed everything back, didn't they?
They pushed everything back that is starting in 2022.
Yeah. What was the first Marvel film that's going to come out?
Spider-Man comes out in December of this year.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
You think that's going to be $1 billion?
It has the potential.
It has the nostalgia. That's the thing.
It has the nostalgia, has the potential. And like Venom, as of right now, as much as I don't like that movie, Venom 2, it is outselling every single movie during COVID. Every single movie.
I don't know, man. See, that's the one thing, right? Like, as much as we shit on bad writing, there are people that just love it. They just love shit movies.
Yep.
And that's why I say, like, I'm not going to harp on what people like. But, if you know something's good and something's bad, like, it's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between professionals and amateurs. And granted, I guess if you make a movie, I wouldn't even say that. I guess if you make a movie in Hollywood, you're technically a professional, right? Doesn't mean you're good, though. Because there's a bunch of NBA players that are professionals. They ain't good, though. You know what I mean? So there's a reason why there's greatness. There's like goats and, lamb chops. I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to make an analogy there for. But overall, Fandom, I would say disappointing.
Yeah.
If you take away the Batman, if the Batman wasn't there, which it won't be there next year, what are they going to do next year?
I don't know, man. You have to announce.
It'll probably be Gotham, right?
And like the big thing that I think is very stupid, because I actually had a conversation with Casey Walsh about this. WB is a big proponent for making announcements through trades. And so that's why there was no real announcements at Fandom, because they don't think Fandom is the place for announcements. That is stupid. Yeah. I think that is really stupid.
Wanted the one more thing, because I noticed there was still 30 minutes left, and I was just like, come on, one more thing.
Yeah, they said, like, hey, 4-hour stream, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna cut it at 3.5.
Yeah, it was kind of lame. One thing that I have to say, kind of disappointed about that Fandom did this. They had a webtoon segment, and
they didn't say anything about the live action. I was like, oh, here it is. And then they didn't fucking do anything.
And I was just like, okay, so it really was something that was illegal, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I hope that Ishmael can work with DC and be like, look, can you watch it? Check it out. If you like it, let us we'll say it's sponsored by you guys. Like, don't give us any money. We already made it. We'll say it's sponsored by you. Fuck it. Just let us come out. I hope they can work something out. But we already ripped DC for it last week, and it's unfortunate. We were kind of hoping that maybe it'll be something that they released early without permission, but it just looks like DC was like, no, you can't play with our toys. So
stupid.
Kind of fucking sucks. But unfortunate. That sucks for Ishmael Hawk. But I hope that one day we get to see it.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. I hope somebody goes rogue and like, oh, our house was broken into, y'all. Like, they stole all our shit, blah blah, and then it gets released like months later. And be like, what was I supposed to do? It was on our hard drives. I wonder how that would work legally. Like, would they what if it got uploaded on another channel?
Well, that was the big joke about like freaking Zack Snyder. He was just like, oh, there was so many times where we actually thought about planning on just dropping a flash drive somewhere with the movie. Yeah,
I mean, that's how Deadpool got made.
Yeah.
Fucking Ryan Reynolds was like, oh yeah, somebody leaked it. Crazy, it was nuts. Like, but I mean, that's what got the film made. So, thank you. So that was, when you got something good, people should see it. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But let's go ahead and before we dive into comics, move on to, I was going to open this podcast with like, this week was so crazy, guys. We had Fandom, we had Ruby Rose drama, but the craziest thing out of this week was going to be Titans because it was so bad. But this Ruby Rose drama is fucking wild, man.
It's fucking insane. Now,
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and say this. If this is legit, which the more and more people say about it, it's not looking like it's great for Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
But if this is actually happening to her, that fucking sucks and nobody should have to put up with that. Like, nobody should. I think there's some truth to it, because one thing that seems to be very on par with the way CW runs their shows, Tom Welling and the dude from Riverdale both did the exact same thing that Ruby Rose did. They were working so late hours that they drove home themselves and got in car accidents.
Yeah.
So, like, they do overwork their actors a little bit in that sense. And I think that these actors should probably have a driver to, like, hey, if they're going into this fucking hotel that you're paying them to be at, like, just pay another coworker to fucking drive them there. It's that simple, you know?
You have interns for a reason.
Exactly. So, like, there's that shit. But, dude, Ruby Rose went fucking off the other night.
Yeah,
and
so Clay sent me this like at 6 or 7 in the morning, and I saw it when you sent it to me, but I was like, I'm not gonna respond. I'm going back to bed. But like, I did start reading it though, and I was like, I think she was still sending it, or at least like it had stopped when she was doing some X-rays or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
she went on to do a lot more of her Instagram story telling the story. There is like she's telling all
allegations,
sexual assault allegations, and like she called her co-workers, like some of the actors, like egomaniacs and like all sorts of stuff, which Camrys did actually respond. I sent that to you as well. They're like, I want to share something specifically. What was it?
The burning of the face off?
Yeah, like she was saying that there's been people that like are actually getting like deadly hurt.
Yeah.
Now there is, because a friend of mine actually found the link, because I do remember this also. There was a stunt double for Ruby Rose that got paralyzed. That is real.
I remember that.
There was that, and she mentioned it in her thread on her story. But then she talked about this dude that got his face melted off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we would have fucking heard about this.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
Yeah, third-degree burns is something you don't like. That would have been super seriously reported, because the one thing is, the only time you ever hear about stunt doubles is when they get hurt.
Yeah.
So like, we would have heard if somebody got super burned on the CW show. So yeah, that was weird, man. She had a lot of allegations, y'all. Like, it was pretty crazy. You can go check out CBR if you want to see everything she said. But if everything she says is true, it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are coming out against her. Now, I feel like a lot of people are going to equate this to Ray Fisher. They're like, oh, look, they tried to silence Ray Fisher. And
he did come out and say, like, good on you. Like, and what he said, his little,
accountability over.
Yeah. Accountability over. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's going to make Ray look bad if it comes out that she is the diva and got fired like everybody else is claiming. So yeah, go for it.
I sent you this article, and I was reading this quote from this dude. So, it does sound like she's a very big diva.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to read this quote. He does start off with like, hey, I was an aspiring actor. I did this, blah, blah, blah. So this guy is the CEO and founder of Constellate Films.
Yeah.
And he talked about it on CBR. and he starts out like his own little personal story, and then he's like,
Mhm.
and then there's Ruby Rose, and he starts to go off. And there's this one moment he says here, uh, she stormed off set, yelled at people, and whenever she interacted with any of us production assistants, we were disregarded as the trash we picked up. One day at the studio, we spent the entire morning setting up her requested green room, which is 6 heaters, because she was used to the Australian hot weather, and her table of snacks, only to have shown up, giggle, walk away, and say she was good. We chalked it up to another Ruby is just giving orders for the sake of giving orders.
Damn. Yeah. So this is my problem with it, right? Because like we talked about this, because I was ready to be like, after I read her allegations, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right?
Mhm.
Granted, I feel like people could go back and look and be like, Juice, you were pretty hard on Ray Fisher. But I was just questioning everything. And I said in those old podcasts, I was like, I don't know, man. I could see it from both ways. But, you know, if it came this way, I get it. You know, and the thing that sucks is it seems like Ray's biggest thing was always like, I have an NDA, I have an NDA, I have an NDA. That's why I haven't come out and dropped a bomb. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things that I automatically questioned because I automatically equated it to like Ray Fisher. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I was like, does she not have an NDA? I was all like, because she's dropping hardcore bombs here.
She's dropping names.
Yeah,
She is
like
going
this
hard
is
on
like
this.
slander.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, oh my gosh, she must have like hardcore evidence or something because
Yeah.
this is slander. And so I was like, okay, that's pretty crazy. And then of course, like Hollywood loves a female in, you know, a female
Distress.
victim. Yeah,
Yeah.
distress. There you go. And now this is my biggest problem if it's fake is that Ruby Rose is now the boy that cried wolf. And she is fucking it up for every woman that tells the truth.
Yeah.
Because there are men out there and there are women out there too that will automatically discredit women because be like, well, what about that Ruby Rose woman? She was fucking lying. So, and like, just because one person was lying doesn't mean this person's lying and doesn't mean that their
Exactly.
stories isn't real.
And I want to say this. It is very clear because there has been kind of some other evidence. She hasn't been like very on the nose like Ruby Rose has,
Mhm.
but Candace Patton, Iris from The Flash.
You mean the Flash?
Yeah, sorry.
We are the Flash.
Yeah.
The Flash. Candace
So I genuinely don't think she likes her character. Like I don't think she likes being on the show anymore. Now, the reason why I say this, and it could be it could be a group of things that she does not like about, whether it be the production, the actors, whatever. Like, she has gone on kind of like tangents when, and again, this can be just fans being annoying, but like fans will talk to her on her Instagram lives or whatever, and she will have like kind of like these like really quick like, hey, I'm not talking about that shit.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh fuck, like, okay.
But
Like,
she's just talking about other shit that's not Flash or what?
well, yeah, there's other stuff like that, but like Candace is very famous for kind of like throwing a little bit of shade towards CW.
Oh, okay.
So there's that also. I just recently saw a TikTok of hers that used the audio of like, give me my money or whatever,
Yeah.
and like asking for a raise, but then in parentheses at the very, very bottom in very small lettering it said, just kidding.
Yeah.
So like there's just stuff like that out there. So, you know, yes, you can say WB is not looking great, you know, from a lot of the decisions that they've made over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Like it's been very vocal on their part. But like, you know, this shit happens at Netflix. You know, this shit happens at Disney Plus. Like, this is just how
Disney's got snipers on you. Like, you ain't saying shit to Disney.
Unfortunately, this is how Hollywood is. Like, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean it's right? Does that mean that it should continue to be that way? No. But I think there is some room for believability when it comes to Ruby Rose's statements.
Yeah, for sure.
But there is a lot of evidence against her.
Yeah, see, like, so the Ray Fisher thing seems more believable because there was multiple people that came out and said stuff, right? Like
Yes.
Gal, like low key said, like, "Oh yeah, there was issues," but she tried to be way more
Well,
professional about it.
recently she's been being a little bit more vocal about it.
Oh, really? I haven't kept up with anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
like, but at the start, she was like, there was issues, but we took care of it. Like, that's kind of
mhm,
what her mentality was. We know Momoa kind of came out and defended what's his name and blah, blah, blah. So that kind of, built up this like a little bit of credibility. But with Ruby Rose, it seems like a lot of people are like, I'm just gonna stay out of this, or I'm gonna stay quiet. And like a lot of people are coming out against her. It's like the Bill Cosby thing, right? Like if one woman comes out and says it, like, oh man, that's bad. But when 50 plus women come out with stories, like, all right, this isn't a situation where it's like, well, maybe he's innocent. No, like that's pretty crazy. But at the same time, again, if you could gather up crazy 50 people that hate somebody and try to make up a fake story, right? So it's
yeah.
possible. But, just from a legal standpoint, like, uh, that's some slander, man. Like,
Yeah.
if that actor, because she said the essentially the dad in the show would have interns or women steam his pants in the crotch area. So this
Yeah.
was like the sexual assault allegation, essentially, and that he would scream and yell and he would beat up women on set, which I don't ever remember him being that physical in the first season.
No, I don't remember it either.
Especially not fighting women, unless I guess did he fight Alice or something? I don't know. So I don't know where that was coming from, but like, yeah, it was really weird to say that. But I was like, oh man, this is crazy. And then she talked shit about like some producers and stuff that were not there, and obviously that's kind of hard to confirm or deny. Like we don't know that. If it's anything like our job, yeah, bosses never show up. Like
Yeah.
they're never there. So I don't know, man. It was definitely one of those things where when she dropped the bomb, it was like, oh fuck. And then a couple of days after, they were like, well, this happened, this happened, this happened. Now it's looking like, oh, she might be a bitch. So like, yeah, dude, it's wild. I will say that. Like,
Yeah. Like
and I
she
told Clay this. I was like, I wonder if this is, she's not getting a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
And I said this because somebody else told me this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so. She isn't like the biggest actress in the world.
mhm,
Like she isn't one to be like, oh yeah, I remember her from this and this and this and this. You kind of have to think, okay, what all has she been in? Oh, Orange is the New Black,
yeah.
John Wick, where she didn't say a thing. Like there's just these random things that she's been a part of. And you're right. We haven't seen an announcement of like, oh, Ruby Rose is going to be in the next season of this show, or
Yeah,
Ruby Rose is going to feature in her own movie here. And it's like, okay, she probably might need the spotlight again, which is horrible to say sometimes,
yeah,
but it may be the truth.
yeah.
Freaking Cameron Johnson, guy who plays Luke Fox, responded to what Ruby was saying. He said, Bat fam, I couldn't go the whole day without saying something. I love y'all. Don't think I haven't seen all the love today, but yeah, fam, she was fired, and it's very hard to be fired when you're
Oh,
the
that was
lead.
him. That was
Yeah,
Batwing? Oh, I didn't
yeah.
know his name, so I was like, "All right, who's this random?"
He said, imagine what you have to do uh, for that to happen. Since since it was claimed she walked away last year, I'm sure some of you may be pretty confused or upset, and even more so that a lot of lies were spread today. Just know that we have a lot of great souls working on this show, and none of this changes that from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, see, because here's the thing, right? Like, I was thinking about this too, that had if Batwoman was that bad, I feel like the new actress that might have would have said something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like
you know?
because I said to a lot of fans, okay, to a lot of friends, sorry, um, if this is Ruby Rose right now saying all this, what's gonna happen? Is there gonna be co-stars that say, "Hey, I stand with you"? Is there gonna be people telling their own stories, or is the company gonna fire back? And essentially, the company fired back. That's what happened. Like nothing else happened. You would have expected maybe somebody saying, "Oh, we stand with you" or whatever, as far as like somebody within a substantial like show of power, I guess,
Yeah.
whether it be an actress, a co-star, a showrunner, whatever. But nobody has come to her defense
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I don't know. Like it was just a crazy story to follow. So like it's just fucking wild because like I can believe it with what was happening with, WB and the Snyder cut and all that jazz. So there's some plausibility there. Maybe that's what she's banking on. But like again, like I said, nope. Yeah, like you just mentioned, nobody's come to her defense. And if other actors are saying like, nah, she was a bitch, like that's it doesn't look good for her, and she probably just made her career even worse now because
Yeah.
that's what people would expect. Because I don't know if that guy from Empire is still getting work, Jesse Smollett, which is Black Canary's brother.
Oh
After what he pulled,
shit. Yeah.
because if I'm not mistaken, he's off the show. I don't think he's on the show anymore, and because that was a ploy to get more money or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everybody's trying to stay away from him. So this could be career suicide for her. But then again, I mean, I think she became a diva on Orange is the New Black because that was the first Netflix show that popped off, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was like worldwide phenomena type thing.
Yeah.
And of course, the thing about Ruby Rose is nobody ever said she was a great actress. Everybody said she was beautiful. And everybody's like, oh, she's so gorgeous. And like, I would love to date Ruby Rose. And like, oh, my girlfriend would be gay for Ruby Rose. Like, that's what everybody was saying when that show was on. Nobody ever was like, she's a fucking great actress. You know what I mean? And she never has been. But like, I thought her dullness in acting would have been perfect for Batwoman. You know what I mean? But like, there were just, I don't know. Fucking wild. I did kind of sort of maybe believe that this could have been real too. I mean, it could still be real, but like because Wallace Day left, she's not coming back next season. I was like, oh, maybe it is like a really toxic place, and maybe that's why Wallace Day is not coming back.
Yeah.
But that just seems like it's a story thing. So, which makes sense because if you brought in this new Batwoman, there's no point in replacing her with Kate Kane. Like, it would look terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Either way, that's enough about fucking the Ruby Rose drama. We just want to talk about it because it is something we covered a long time ago. And let's see. Yeah, that's just nuts. So,
yeah, absolutely insane. But I want to talk about comics right now because I told you that I have a hot take. I think we should start off with it because I read it today. I was like, hey, I need something to wash down the terrible taste of Titans. Let's read some comics. Catwoman Lonely City.
Ooh.
Gonna go ahead and take my hot take. I can probably already say it's going to be in my top 5 of 2021 Batman stories.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was bad. I thought we were about to fight.
No.
Okay.
No. I think that this is like, this was good.
Yeah, I told you. It was fantastic.
Like, you can make a small argument that like not a lot happens. Yes. But the storytelling, the different ways he tells the story. I can't remember exactly the author's name because the author is the one who did the writing, the inks, the art, the lettering. He did everything on this book. So he did a word balloon interview just recently. And so he was like, yeah, if you're questioning, anything in the book, just know that everything kind of has a purpose. So if I did a freaking whatchamacallit, a word balloon here or a narration box here, it's like all because I wanted to do that. So I was like, that's cool. Like you don't have anybody kind of telling you, hey, you can't do that because of this. Like he was free reign on this whole book. His name was, these are all the freaking editors. I don't want the editors.
So I bought it today. I didn't know it
Cliff
was
Chang.
a Black Label.
Yes.
I didn't know that. So yeah, I read the books way before Clay does. Clay, I think you have like an order or a sheet or something that you do. Like I just jump around. I read whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, so the way I do it is I I look at the books that I need to read for the podcast versus the books that I need to read or that I want to read for the week. And then if it's an even number, I'm like, okay, I start reading on Sunday and end just in time to talk about it here on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. And some may take a little bit more of a precedent, whether it be like a Batman like main title or a Nightwing and things like that. This one I was holding off a little bit because I was like, oh, this is a longer story. It's like 40 something pages. But I'm kind of glad that I waited until like last to read it because it was fantastic.
Yeah, so for the premise of this, just to let everybody know, this is Lonely City. This before this book came out, it was promoted as Catwoman is 20 years later, or 10 to 20 years later, right? I think it's I'm
I
mistaken.
think it's 20
Yeah.
years later.
20 years later, she's back in Gotham, and there is no Batman, there is no Nightwing, and there is no Joker. They're dead.
Mhm.
And I was just like, okay, when you hear that, you're just like, been there, done that. Like, it's been written, you know what I mean?
It's like, whatever. We all know that another Batman's coming.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always something like that. Jace is going to be there. And so what was interesting about this is it starts off with Selina's in jail, and she's finally getting out. And there is, like, she's going back to her old, like, she's going back to the Narrows because that's where she's been. It's where she grew up, all that jazz. And it seems like Gotham is in somewhat of a police state, or at least this area is. And like they have like Gotham IDs now or something like that, like G badges or G bracelets or something like that, to where
G money.
Yeah, where you have to basically they can keep a track on everybody in Gotham. And Selena's like, I just got out of jail, man. Like, I used to live here. And he's like, all right, well, register for your G badge or whatever. When she gets off the bus, and she goes to her penthouse, which it was kind of hard for me to believe that nobody was able to get in there. But I guess it's a penthouse with like super strong doors and people couldn't break in and stuff. But she goes to this rundown penthouse that she has to break into herself, which I found
because she
hilarious.
forgot the code. That's hilarious.
I mean, it's been 20 years, and she goes into this penthouse, and it still has like all her stuff. Like, it has her outfits, it has, diamonds and all this other shit that she needs. And one of her cats is still alive after 20 years.
So that I was just like, okay, whatever. But comic book logic,
Yeah.
But I was like, at least she has some sort of connection.
For sure. Yeah, so one of her cats is still around, and then she's going to like go to get a coffee and stuff like that, and she gives the person money. He's like, money? Like, this is all G-Bucks or whatever. Like, it's just stupid shit. And she goes down to like an older market that actually takes like physical cash. We find out that fucking Two-Face is the mayor.
That was good. So one thing that we've always talked about this, we've always talked about the different ways of storytelling and how you can kind of, especially with a solo book like this is strictly like, hey, this is a Catwoman story. How are we going to push the story more with scenes that don't have her in it?
Mm-hmm.
The newscasts, the talk shows and everything else that go on in the background of this, I love them.
That's one of my favorite things in comics.
It's such good storytelling because you're getting the news in a like you're getting the story of this universe, of this book, very organically, and not being like, hey, we're gonna hit you with a stupid stick and like we have to force everything down your throat.
Tynan tells you everything from a character.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's happening in the newscast. We find out Two-Face is mayor, and then Selina bought flowers to take them to a gravesite, and we find out that it's Bruce Wayne's grave. Yeah. And she had to sneak into Wayne Manor to do this. And what the subtle things about this book is this is a Catwoman that's 20 years older. So she's like, this is gonna hurt my knees, or like,
oh, like when it like you see the pops and the cracks and the oofs and all of that.
And being somebody who's getting, I'm starting to get a little older now. I'm just like, I'm feeling this shit. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I got anxiety this year, and I'm just like, how do people do this? Like, it's fucking the worst. So like, I love those little things because like they're not trying to tell you that this is a badass Selina that can do everything she used to do 20 years ago. She's struggling. And I was just like, okay. And she ends up, the thing I loved about this is she goes to go put flowers at Bruce Wayne's grave, but then you also see Alfred's grave. You see fucking, I think it's Grayson's grave, right?
Yeah, you see Dick
Yeah.
Grayson, but then when she walks away, you see more graves. So you can
Yeah.
probably assume that it's like
Well, it could
maybe
be the mom and dad, no? It could be that.
oh, it could be Martha and
Yeah.
and Thomas, but it could also be like Damien or like
Yeah.
just
That's
like
true. We don't know the story yet.
we don't
Um,
know anything about this world right now.
yeah. And so she puts a flower on every grave, which I really appreciated that, you know. And then she goes to see our old boy Penguin, who looks old.
It was old
Damn,
as
he's old.
fuck, dude.
Yeah. And even in his old age, he's still trying to pull some tricks. And he's all like, hey, I'm pretty much legit now, so I can't give you a loan, like all this stuff. He was like, but if you need money, I do need waitresses. And she knocks the fuck out of
Dude,
him.
he was like, "Hey, you can maybe pull out that old Catwoman suit,
Yeah.
Yeah."
I was
Fuck,
like,
dude,
dirty
she
little
just
penguin.
whacks him,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my building!" Basically,
Yeah.
I
So,
really dug this, dude.
yeah.
We also see at that point, isn't it? At that point, we see Barbara, right?
Not
Or
yet. Not yet. At that point, we see her breaking into
oh,
the
the
GCPD.
GCPD. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do like this because there's like you get this notion, like you said, she isn't a badass. She isn't like 20 years younger. She's 20
Yeah.
years older, but like she still got it.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I can still at least sneak around. I still know how to do this, but it's just my body that's failing me.
Yeah.
Because there's one point where she like has to distract some people, so she throws a pin away, and then like a guy is like right around the corner, so she freaking jumps, and like you can tell that she's like struggling to stay up there. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah. It was really good, man. And then that's when we get another, then we get this newscast of Two-Face talking about what happened with Batman, essentially.
Yeah.
Like there was, and we don't get the full story. He's kind of like, yeah, what happened that day is the reason why Gotham doesn't have crime today, or why we have the Bat Force, or what are they called? The B-Men or something like that.
I can't remember off the top.
Because the cops actually have helmets that look like cowls now, but they're like, SWAT cowls. So they have kind of like goggles, but they have the pointy ears on them. So they're essentially bat soldiers.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like, since that day happened, like, that Batman, aka they know it's Bruce Wayne at this point, gave his life for this city. And that's why this city doesn't have crime anymore, or, we got away with all this stuff. And so I thought that was really interesting. And that's when it jumps to Selina going to what looks like an orphanage. And she's talking to a child. And correct me if I'm wrong, that wasn't Barbara's child, was it?
They kind of say that it is.
So then we see Barbara in a wheelchair, which I think is interesting. So I would be curious to who that kid's father is. Because the kid's black, just to throw that out there, y'all. Or at least they depict him this way.
They depict him black. His name is Wayne. Maybe Barbara had to live a life without Dick Grayson,
Yeah. What if she dated one of the Wayne's brothers?
What would his name be? Wayne Waynes?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But anyways, so like we have Selina talking to Barbara, and Barbara's like kind of like doesn't want to see her, you know what I mean? She's kind of reluctant. She's like, we all kind of had to move on, Selina, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I really dug this conversation because like there's a moment here where Selina's like, I didn't do this to them.
Yeah.
But Barbara's like, but you didn't not do this. Like, you didn't kill them, but you didn't save them either.
Yeah, that's
it's
rough.
like, and I was like, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, Barbara, I didn't see you save them either. Like, what the fuck?
That's like when your parents tell you, we're not mad at you, we're disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, why does that hurt so much more? Oh, damn it. Yeah, so I totally get that. But let's see. So yeah, anyways, then yeah, she's like, you didn't save them or whatever. And Selina dips out when somebody shows up. And so like that's why I didn't know, because the lady that shows up is also black. So
Yeah.
I'm like, was that her kid or was that Barbara's kid?
Well,
You know?
he says Wayne's saying something about a permission slip for the museum tomorrow, but I didn't. Oh, maybe that is Wayne's mom right there.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't
Is
know though.
Barbara a teacher?
I mean, she could be running an orphanage. Maybe the kid doesn't have a mother, or does she? Did they say that? I don't remember
Well,
reading that part.
well, maybe not. Oh, an orphanage would be interesting.
Yeah.
What is the? Does it say anything about the building?
Are you here for Mama? She's in the back. Oh, so maybe it is. Maybe she adopted him. It could be.
Maybe
Because
because
what
like
if?
I'm even trying to look at the panel where like where they are as
Yeah.
far as like the building, and you can't see like above
Yeah.
the the door, so it's not like anything is kind of standing out to tell you what kind of location that they're in.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're getting caught up on that for no reason. We see Selena walking through the streets of Gotham, and then she goes. This was one of my favorite parts. So she goes to an old dive bar, and this
I
dive
love
bar
this part.
is run by fucking what's her name? Mother. What is her name? I'm forgetting her name right now. The new god mom, the mama.
It's oh
God,
shit.
Granny Goodness. My
Granny
bad.
goodness,
Granny
yeah.
Goodness. So Granny Goodness is throwing this guy like out of her bar for not paying or doing some shit. And what was great about this bar is we see a Killer Croc 20 years later, and he just looks like an old fat guy. And I was like, this is awesome. Because Killer Croc's there, like people are talking shit to him or whatever, and he's like, hey, like you know what I mean? He's just an old
So
grumpy dude.
I'm gonna tell you that we are both wrong.
Are we?
Yeah, it's not Granny Goodness.
What is it?
She says Ma Hunkle used to keep the peace in this neighborhood. So I didn't know who this was. Says here, Abigail Mathilda Ma
Uh-huh.
Hunkle is a fictional character and occasionally a superhero in the DC Comics universe, debuted during the golden age of comics.
Oh wow. She
So
looks like Granny Goodness.
she is and it says here she is connected to the Red Tornado in some
Oh,
capacity. Um, dude,
that's weird.
her fucking suit is wild. I need to send you a picture, but keep
Yeah.
going.
She looks so it looked like Granny Goodness, so yes, correction. So anyways, Selena sits down and is like chilling with Killer Croc to get a drink or whatever. And Killer Croc is all like and they don't call him Killer Croc, or they do, but he goes by Waylon, which he has before in other comics. But he's all like, hey, we should pull a job. Like, your brains and my brawn will be able to get something done and people won't be laughing at us anymore. And she's kind of like, I'm done or I'm retired or whatever. And then Two-Face shows up and he's all like, hope you're not trying to pull anything once you just got out of jail, Selena. And so they kind of have this back and forth. And I know she throws a coin at him for some reason. Oh, she's like, so retire or go back to jail? I don't know, Harvey. You choose. And she throws a coin at him and he catches it. And then he says, next round's on me. Because like he was kind of like, a lot of people don't trust Two-Face necessarily,
Yeah.
ever. And so, he buys the next round and everybody's like, oh, you got my vote, all that kind of jazz. And then as he's leaving the area, Selena's like, you know what, Croc? Maybe we should pull a job. And, he's like, really? Like, like, no shit. And she's like, on election day, I think is what she says, right? So we're
Yeah,
going to break into the Bat Cave on election day. So he's like, oh, hell yeah, essentially.
Dude,
And
his character design for this book looks so good. Like I don't know, it just like he is menacing because he's a fucking crocodile still, but at the
yeah,
same time he has like
he
a
looks
little
goofy.
bowler hat and he looks
Yeah.
goofy. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like something you would see in a cartoon show.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? And so yeah, I think he looked really awesome. Well, Selena ends up donning her old. Wait, is this the future? Yeah, this is the future. So she's gonna go try to sneak in because she needs to, I think, find stuff from the GCPD. Right? She needs to break into the GCPD archive, and so she dons her old Catwoman costume. I'm talking about whiskers and all. Like basically, it looks almost like the animated series.
Yes.
Similar to that. And so we know she's not super fast. So she's throwing like a stink bomb or gas bombs, all that jazz to get out of there to, trick the
Cause
cops.
distractions and
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah.
She slips, trying to jump something she used to be able to do all the time. She slips and catches herself. And so she's like, oh, fuck. You can just tell she's like, I'm not what I used to be. So she ends up breaking into the archive and gets the book because she's trying to figure out like what happened that day, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So
Or,
she's looking for a piece of evidence, and you're like, okay, so what's so important that she needs to look for? And she finds it. It's a
Batarang.
batarang, and this is when we get the flashback of
Yeah.
what happened,
There
dude.
you go.
When you turn the page and you see Bruce Batman, third-degree burns around his face, his chest, like he was in the midst of a fucking explosion, like
Yeah.
this was not like the fucking Batman we see always like being blown back from explosions, like, oh, he's safe. No, he was like fucking at the fucking center point. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah.
So that is happening. A freaking helicopter comes in and they're like, get down, get away from Batman. We're gonna, if you don't put your hands up, we're gonna shoot you and all of this other stuff. And she's like, guys, chill the fuck out. If you keep coming forward, if you keep like doing this, the bombs are gonna go off.
Yeah.
And that's when we see this door is rigged with like a lot, and I mean a lot of explosives.
Yeah.
And that's when it blows up. She before it blows up though, Batman is like basically speaking her last word his last words, and
Mhm.
he says that she needs to find Orpheus
Yeah.
or Orpheus or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, if it's what I'm thinking about, that was a character back during I think No Man's Land.
Okay.
So I could be wrong if they're talking about the same one.
So
But
I also want to say this also. I'm pretty sure I said it in the last episode of the podcast.
but it
But
sounds like this is a device though.
yeah, yeah. But this book takes like a lot of inspiration, if not a continuation
Hmm.
of Brewbreaker's run on Catwoman, which is why
Yeah.
she's wearing the suit that she is when you see her in her old gray suit.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. So I don't remember that particular part. But I'm assuming he maybe doesn't include the Pfeiffer stuff because I mean that was still good too until the baby part.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But so maybe it just like doesn't include the Pfeiffer stuff. But yeah, so yeah, there was this huge explosion. It looks like Selena gets knocked out. I'm assuming this is how they capture her and she goes to jail.
Yeah.
And then she stole stuff from the evidence room, and besides that batarang, she also stole Gordon's pipe, which is iconic for Gordon, and she gives it to Barbara. So
Yeah.
this could be maybe having her set up a way for Barbara to help her, and see what happens.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but then on the final page of this book, we see that it looks like Two-Face is up to his old ways because it looks like they're going to be trying to frame something on Selena, or she's going to lead them to something
Yeah.
that they want. And yeah, dude, this book is how you tell a story and how you do it differently, but still make it feel like these characters. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Really, really, really fun stuff. I think it's only like 3 or 4 issues. Like I don't think it's very long. But the good thing is that they're like 40 pages each. So
Yeah.
it's going to be like a good chunk of story every single time you read it, which is going to be nice.
Yeah, man. Lonely City was actually really awesome, and I can't wait for the next issues. But let's go ahead and move on to something that isn't great, and that is Batman 115.
Ooh.
What do we say about this book? I mean, how
Uh,
many more do we have? He's on 2 more issues?
3 cuz
3
oh
more?
wait, no.
When does he
Cuz
end?
I think 18 is like the official.
His final one, right?
Is it the final? I thought 18 was 118 is Joshua's first.
Is it? I don't
I
remember.
think so.
I don't
I
remember.
think
So that
so.
means Fear State's done in the next 3 weeks?
No,
No?
because
Is Williamson taking over during Fear State?
no,
You know?
because so this is the end of October. The next two,
Technically, yeah.
16 and 17, will
Uh-huh.
be in November.
Oh.
and then 18 will be this first week of December, or
Okay, cool,
somewhere
cool,
around
cool.
there.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't, I don't care about this book anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. So
Oh
today,
man.
I mean, a majority of this issue was, Batman got saved by Miracle Molly last issue, and Miracle Molly's like, I know what Scarecrow's gonna do. Like, let me show you. And she essentially takes him to this underground cerebral, right? Like, similar-ish kind of thing, because it can manipulate people or some shit. Like,
It was a weird, like, little. So I'm trying to remember, because the thing won't freaking load up for me.
yeah, so for this, like, she takes him down to this like room that's all yellow or whatever. It has computers in it, and then her guard friend shows up, which I thought this was complete bullshit. Because did you notice how they made him super OP again? Like, Tinian makes everybody so OP. So this security guard that we've met before stayed down there to protect this area, and he has, from what Miracle Molly says, has like the power to make, like, put a dent in Superman or hit Superman and he'd feel it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck that. Like, I
I
was
was like, are you
such
kidding me?
bullshit.
Yeah.
Again, it's this mentality that, and I think it's genuinely just Tynan, because
Mhm.
I am not seeing it in anybody else's writing. But like, there's this need to be like, oh, because I created him,
Yeah.
he is the greatest of all of DC ever existed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why does that need to happen?
That doesn't even happen in anime. Like,
No.
all the time. Like, of course it happens in the classics like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, but newer anime doesn't do this ultra powered thing.
Yeah,
Like, I
no.
mean, I'm at 100 issues or episodes in My Hero, and it seems like the biggest character is still the strongest character, which is the overall story, One for All or All for One or whatever his name is.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's, as of 100 episodes, is still the strongest enemy out of all of them.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, and that's established. Like, it's part of the story. But Tynan, nah, everybody's stronger than Batman, can fuck up Superman. And I'm just like, bro, like, really? And it's just makes me not care.
Like, because again, it makes you not care, but like, it makes you not care because you take because it's one thing to be like, oh, he, let's take a book out of Marvel. He's like a taskmaster and he can now mimic everything that Batman is.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That's sure, why not? But once you say, hey, who's the strongest character in DC right now? Oh, Superman. Oh yeah, he can go one-on-one with Superman.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
Superman's not even, like, yes, he's in the same universe, but he's not even in this book. Like,
Yeah.
don't even, like, you have to reach outside of this book to be like, hey, he's better than this character.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind a comment like that if Superman showed up in the book and got hit by him and was like, okay, and then just like slapped him. Because then Batman could probably look at her and she'd be like, all right, I lied. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you're setting up something like that, those comments are fine. But Superman's not going to show up in this, because if that's the case, there's not going to be a problem with Fear State. Like, if Superman, like, that's why they have Batman tell every other superhero stay the fuck out of Gotham, because it helps sell his story better. Like, if
Yes.
Superman's like his best friend, he could easily go to Gotham and capture a lot of these people. Now, granted, we could get into the big debate of like, a lot of these villains probably have kryptonite, or they have magic, or they have a way to beat Superman. You know what I mean? We can get into that debate, but I'm just saying, for the most part, if you wanted to, half of his rogues gallery could get captured by Superman like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's why they make Superman the world's hero, because you can always just say, oh, he's fucking in Mexico, he's in Berlin, he's doing this, there's asteroids, you know what I mean? Like, you can just assume Superman is always busy, and that's believable, you know what I mean?
No,
So,
and
like,
then like there's this moment of like she is like, oh well, like because she makes the comment, right? Oh well, if he could probably punch Superman and he'll feel it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, well, I guess I'm the only one that can do it. And she like runs in and like grabs his arm and freaking like dismantles it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so
While
you just told me
under his dick. She's all like,
so you just told me, hey, he can go one-on-one with Superman, but only you can disarm it. Like, sorry, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and the way she does it is she literally runs towards him, slides under his arm, and somehow manages to grab his arm and fucking do all of her shit to undo his weapons before sliding under him. And I'm like, bruh, like, what?
Yeah, physics literally just don't equate in this book.
This belongs in the Fast and Furious. Like, that's how that was. Like, this was Vin Diesel stomping on the ground and saying,
Jason Statham,
the streets always win. You know what I mean? That's how bad this was. And like, I don't fucking care anymore.
No, like, and then like Batman's like, oh well, he like just he does with the serum thing. He's like, oh, and we'll have to unscramble. Like, because basically he's gonna have to do the same thing that Ghostmaker did to him.
Yeah.
For this guy, and I'm like, but you know that you're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be Ghostmaker. So are we going to have a whole bunch of just like, I'm not saying one shots. I hope not, dear God. Mm-hmm. But are you going to have a whole segment of a tie-in being like, only Ghostmaker can save the city?
Yeah.
And like help all these people that are under Scarecrow's mind control?
At this point, you know what could happen is the Titans could show up with a Lazarus bubble, throw it into the sky, causing purple rain.
Stop it.
And, it would fit with this book at this point. So, yeah, anyways, besides that crap going on in this book, we got, like, this speech from Batman talking about, like, other people helping him out, and it kind of had this little montage of, like, Harley Quinn and all them, the Batgirls, Dick and Barbara. We even saw Jace, which doesn't fucking make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense because he's in the future.
Yep. It literally shows Jace with his mask on and everything. And yeah, I don't know how the fuck he's there because we just read a book with him that said 6 years later where he's putting on the suit for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this timeline is so fucked. But anyways, that was before they get to this thing and fight this monster dude that only Miracle Molly.
He was in the issues prior when they were first introduced.
Yeah,
it's the same guy. Yeah,
yeah. But I think maybe he was controlled by Scarecrow here because yeah. So, and then we get like some stuff of Scarecrow telling Peacekeeper 1 that, he'll make him better. He'll make him the best.
You're
blah, blah,
you're
blah.
the superhero that everybody needs and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
And then we end with, there was prior in the issue, the Unsanity Collective or whatever they're called was talking to Ivy and saying like, oh, why do you do this? Or you could destroy the, blah, blah, blah. And, she's kind of listening to them. But at the very end, what's his face? Simon Saint shows up with his goons show up to the underground like sanctuary.
Dude, Simon Saint went from like cool collective to completely batshit insane, like in 0 seconds flat. Like I don't understand his very like. Don't get me wrong. Whenever people fight superheroes, they get frustrated, then they become erratic, and then that's how they eventually lose. But this, it's like, oh my gosh, everything is going wrong. Oh, fuck you, give me that tablet. I'll do everything myself. What the fuck is wrong with everybody? And it's just like, calm the fuck down, dude. Like,
I think Simon Saint is supposed to be like the Steve Jobs of this, He's got the look. Apparently, Steve Jobs was very erratic, so maybe that's tiny.
That adds up a lot. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, it's pretty. I don't know, kind of lame. I don't care. I don't care. That's all I could say about Batman, and I never thought I would really ever say that. I've read a lot of bad Batman, but the main title usually is good.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, and maybe this is because Tynan was never meant to be Batman on here forever, and maybe he was, pulling shit out of his ass, and he was just like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna make it like an anime. I'm gonna do this. Make a bunch of characters to hopefully be like my daddy, and get
I
video games
think
made about
it's
me.
it's such a weird like position to be in,
Yeah,
because at one point you're being told, "Hey, you're writing Batman." Like
yeah,
it is the head honcho of all DC Comics. You're writing Batman, and you can choose whatever story you want. And
yeah,
then you go full stride with that, but at the same time, from the reports that we have heard, he was going by an issue by issue contract. It
yeah,
was not like, hey, you're staying on for this much, because he was still having talks with Substack.
yeah,
So it's just like you
yeah,
you put yourself in that situation. I'm sorry. So if whatever people's opinions have, like whoever is saying, or who was on our side and thinking that like this is not a great story,
yeah.
like Tynan cannot like be mad at anybody but himself, because he put himself in this
Yeah,
situation.
he had one foot out the door already. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's what we said about death metal, right? Like death metal was just we already knew Snyder was leaving.
Hmm.
And Snyder doesn't need to do Snyder can quit comics today. Like the next Batman game is centered around his shit. I don't know how much money he's making off royalties, but it seems like, he's kind of got that Bendis status where he just talks about anything that's involved with, his creations that he did. I don't know how well royalties work on that stuff, but Snyder, I would say in recent memory, is the only guy to have two really successful characters, which is the Court of Owls, and as much as we hate it, the Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's gonna be in Fortnite. So like,
No, do you know what sucks? Do you know what sucks?
what?
Okay. So I don't think we've received it yet. I may have to go back and look at it.
We got it. You're talking about the comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it.
Okay. The last Batman Fortnite book was
Mhm.
actually really good. So
That's true.
like so like I'm kind of looking at this one. I'm like, I know the Batman Who Laughs is gonna be in this,
Yeah.
and I'm not looking forward to it. But I can almost like I can't say almost guarantee, but I am pretty sure it's gonna be very competent writing.
You think it'll be better than death metal? Not
Fuck.
that's a very low bar.
It's a
So
it's a low bar. I
yeah,
would I would say maybe.
yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know. I have my own idea on. I don't want to say it on the podcast, obviously, because I think DC listens and steals our ideas around here. But I have an idea that because I always think that you should have a story that makes a character disappear, and that's your Disney Vault moment. You know what I mean? And you put them
Yes.
away for like 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
and I think that they should do that. They could have done that with Joker War, but no, fuck no. No, we're gonna make 20 billion books with the Joker.
And I will say sometimes it doesn't work all that well, because I don't know if you remember, it's been a while. Peter Tomasi did it in Detective with Lincoln. He brought
Oh
him
yeah.
back with for that Two-Face story.
Hmm.
But that was tying so much into like the Year of the Villain and the Joker stuff. Like it was falling a lot into that. So like it did kind of fall flat on its face. But you do stuff like that, that is a lot more appreciative than
Yeah.
like, hey, here's this character. He's gonna be in the next 347 books. Here you go. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's as we're winding down on Tynan's DC run, which we're not really because that vampire book comes out in 2 weeks or a week or something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Which I have reports, and I don't know if I shared this on the podcast yet.
mhm.
Um, I have talked to said writers
Uh-huh.
on the vampire, because it's co-written by
Yeah.
him and somebody else.
Uh-huh.
It's Rosenberg, Matthew
Oh, okay.
Rosenberg. I spoke to Rosenberg. He said that it will not. Tynan leaving does not affect the status of the book whatsoever
Oh yeah,
because
you
they
mentioned
have.
that. You mentioned that.
Okay,
Yeah.
they have so
I thought you were
many
gonna.
in the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody read it yet? Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything yet.
Uh-huh.
To be completely honest, I might jump on it tonight.
So I was gonna skip ahead and read the Game of Thrones book
Oh yeah,
because
the
that came
Taylor
out.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm really excited to read. Because I don't think I've jumped ahead in the new books we've got. Anyways, Batman 115 sucks. So and like I said, as we're winding down with Tynan again, because I feel like if I do become the Batman writer in the future, somebody is gonna pull all these podcasts and be like, "This is what he said about every fucking writer." It's gonna be a CBR article, and it's gonna be like, "New Batman writer shits on every other writer, but slobs on Tom King's knob." Like that's gonna be the headline, and like I will own it back then too. But as I'll say on this podcast, is I would be obviously more professional then. But we're covering this as fans. Like we're
Yes,
not.
and this goes into the same conversation. I've said this before. You have met Brian Michael Bendis. You said
Mhm.
he seemed like a pretty genuine person
In
in
person.
person.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't go towards him to have a conversation because I am not a big fan of his work recently.
Yeah.
But if
I
I
met him
had
prior to his DC run, though.
no, but if I had an Ultimate Spider-Man book,
Mhm.
I would get that signed because that was him in his prime, and I really genuinely love that story.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not gonna be here and be like, hey, I really love this book, but your DC stuff is the worst. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be an asshole.
For
Like,
sure.
that's just being professional.
Yeah.
You know?
And we've made jokes about it before on the podcast, but we're not
Yes.
serious about
Yes.
it. It's just, we try to spice things up every once in a while, but we are professionals and we would be professionals. But we do cover this as a fan because we expect that the people listening to us are also fans. And we just want the best products possible because if you keep putting out shit, eventually we might not have comics, at least not as often as we do. And we want there to be comics. So, anyways, and I've met Tynan. I've mentioned this before. He's a fucking nice super dude. He's awesome. Like, I talked to him for a little bit at Comic-Con. He was great. But, I'm not going to sit here and, sugarcoat shit. Like, I just don't like this run, and it's unfortunate because he is a fantastic writer. I don't know what happened here. Maybe he saw Substack and he was just like, I'm going to milk this for a couple years and then I'm out. You know what I mean? Maybe it gave him the time to write the Substack books. And now
Sell out.
Yeah. So we'll see. But anyways, going from that book, let's talk about Nightwing because did you like it? I wasn't a big fan of this book.
Okay, so the one thing that I did not like about this was this wasn't a Nightwing book.
Yeah.
For some reason, Taylor decided to, and I will say, it's very smart. Do you know why it's very smart? Because this is the one and only tie-in for Fear State.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going to ruin my story with Nightwing to just do whatever you guys want with Fear State. Instead, I want Barbara in my book for one issue, and I'll tell a story of her in Gotham.
Yeah,
That's smart.
Was kind of smart. He took the Tom King route where he said "fuck your fucking tie-in," and he
did the Night of the Monsterman.
Yeah. Well, no. There was that at the start.
Oh, the Year of the Villain too. Yeah,
the Year of the Villain. He was all like, "Yeah, sure, a tie-in." And the last 2 pages of his book were the tie-in.
Were Bane. Yeah.
So he did that. But yeah, so essentially, this was a Batgirl book. And it was just kind of, we had a flashback of her and Dick Grayson back when he was Robin. I find this kind of like, I don't know what this new thing is about Barbara being the mischievous one out of them. We saw it in Titans, and now
we're seeing it here. Yeah.
Like
everybody loves a bad girl.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I've always, not saying that she can't. I think Barbara's probably got a little freaky deaky side to her. But, like, for the most part, I mean, she's dating Dick. He's fucked a gorilla. Come on. They gotta both be freaky. Like, come on. But, like, anyways, it's just really weird that seems like to be the new thing. Maybe they're trying to change her image a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, sometimes I kind of really like the goody two shoe girl. And we know Barbara has a fiery side. So like if it's a goody two shoe girl with a fiery side, I like that. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, so she's being a little mischievous here, and they go out and they fight some crime, and that kind of teams up with this. And they're essentially they need to break into like Oracle's second base, right? That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And they go fight all of these different freaking what are they called, the magistrate drones or whatever, and they go into their second thing and they get gassed, and so it looks like Barbara witnesses Dick's death again,
Man,
because
getting
this is,
PTSD over here, man.
yeah, and so she's like holding him, and then she ends up fighting. I think it's Tim, right? And then he puts a mask on her, and he's like, "Yo, this is the fear stuff." And then she kisses Dick Grayson because she's like, "Oh my god, you're alive!" Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then this stupid random thing that we still don't know where it came from. What is it called?
The seer.
Yeah, the seer from Apex Legends just fucking shows up and is all like, "Yeah, I know what's going on," and she unplugs it.
Here's the problem with this, okay? So the seer actually has like a bodily form,
Yeah,
right? And in the beginning of this book, you see that it is like basically a hologram that is like basically just poking and prodding at both Dick Grayson and Barbara.
Yeah.
The one issue, and maybe I'll have to go back and ask some questions for other people. How and or why is the seer involved in Fear State at all? And what stakes does she have in this game of joining the Fear State?
Yeah, because we find out in this issue, she's in the UFO that's above Gotham City that I thought Scarecrow and Simon Saint had. But apparently she's in it, and they've never mentioned her before. So
again, this may be some notes that Taylor had to make in the sense of like, oh, to connect to Fear State, I need to bring at least this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know when Seer was truly introduced.
Mm-hmm.
So there's problem one. Problem two is she working for Simon Saint, or is she working with Scarecrow, or is she a third party that has decided, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this and cause some mayhem of my own?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, what is she wanting overall? Because just having this random entity like invade freaking 4 different books in the last 2 weeks, it's like,
and possibly taking over Gotham for 6 years.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So the interesting thing here, or I should say, how did you feel about? So up until the very end, I wasn't really caring about this book, and then of course, in Tom Taylor fashion, he leaves you with a jaw drop moment, because what we see is the seer is talking to Dick Grayson, Tim, and Batgirl, and she's essentially saying some stuff to them, and she throws on a monitor that the Batgirls are at the previous bell tower where Oracle was.
Yeah.
And essentially says they're in trouble. So the team starts running over there trying to call them, and the final page is a kaboom, and the whole bell tower explodes.
Yeah.
So there's no way they're dead.
No.
It would be crazy if they were.
They're not, because the Batgirls book is coming out in December.
Yeah. So yeah, they're definitely not dead. But I think that's what kind of sucks about comics sometimes, right? Like, you see the future books, so you know that they're not gonna die. Unless it's a swerve and it's like, oh yeah, this is a prequel to their deaths, And at that point, you're just kind of like, do I ever want to read this if I know they're gonna die? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the crazy thing. But obviously, we've read comics enough to know that these people aren't going to die. They're going to be Jessica Jones and probably Lazarus Pit Rain. That's what I'm calling right now. Lazarus Pit Rain, falling down, purple rain ripples.
Purple rain.
See, but now I've made the joke twice, so I've watched too much Titans. So, it's infecting me now. But yeah, fuck it. So yeah, from there we already covered Lonely City, which again, fucking amazing book. But we also had Catwoman this week, which this is Ramvi is getting off this pretty soon, right? So
Yes.
somebody, one of our viewers in the Discord, which we appreciate you joining the Discord, was mentioning that somebody is taking over for this Tiny something, or
So
I don't.
it Teeny Howard
Okay,
is the
Teeny
one that
Howard,
is
Tiny.
I believe he is taking over. And let me double check that though.
What have they wrote? I know, I've never heard of this person before. So I think they're from
So
Marvel.
Teeny Howard, she has written Marvel, a lot of Marvel, Rick and Morty
Oh,
comics.
okay.
Um she has written Power Rangers Pink. Let's see here. What
Was any
else?
of it good?
Power Rangers Pink was pretty good. I'm trying to see if there's any red flags. That's the main thing.
Because I had not read anything from this writer.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you right now. Actually, um,
Got some red flags.
no.
Good flags, green flags.
Good flags, green flags.
Oh, okay. I mean, because we need a good follow up writer if this run's going to continue.
The only thing that is kind of questionable is Excalibur, which was a X-Men book featuring Rogue, Gambit, and a whole bunch of other different X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
But she was also juggling 3 other X-Men books as well. So, like, it's kind of hard to do that. So I can understand one of them kind of faltering and not being as great.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything else I am seeing here was actually pretty good. So
Interesting.
this will be interesting.
I don't know if I believe I think it's Andrew in the Discord. I don't know if they liked it or not. Andrew, if you're listening to this, correct me in the Discord if you like this or not. I think it kind of seemed like they weren't a fan. So we'll see. But anyways, let's go ahead and cover the issue. Essentially, this issue was Catwoman. We know was already injured. We know her sister's gone, and she's essentially trying to fight for her life now, and she's trying to fight for the Narrows. Very similar to what's happening in Titans, or what happened in Titans. So that's unfortunate. But she has, essentially a gang of misfits in like Firefly, Killer Croc, the gardener, random people. And we see some Riddler, some Penguin in here. And their goal is to get Ivy out of the city, the way they got her sister out of the city, because they know the magistrate's coming for them. And essentially that's all this book is the magistrate coming to try to get Ivy, and they're fending off the magistrate.
Now, they did fight this individual that I completely forgot was actually a part of the Catwoman story beforehand.
She tried to kill the Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about her. But this was a very quick read. It happened really, really quick. Yeah. I do like the whole like, I always carry a plan B, and it's Harley with her bat that's called Plan B. Like I was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, way better than the fucking what is Clown Hunters called?
The Bat.
Yeah, I think, or some shit right there.
No,
that's what Clown Killer.
You could have called it the Clown Killer.
Yeah,
but he calls it the Bat.
Yeah, God, so bad. Anyways, yeah, so we have Harley, teaming up with Catwoman, and we know Ivy's here too, so technically this is the Gotham City Sirens. But Gardner's taking Ivy's spot because she's kind of split in two right now.
Man, when was the last time there was a Gotham City Sirens book? Jeez.
Azzarello. And it was okay. It was the one they forced, we thought it was going to be a series, and they forced it to be all in one.
Oh, issue. That's right. Yeah.
And it kind of just abruptly ended with Joker possibly killing Harley. Like that was
No, that was a Birds of Prey book. That
Was
wasn't a
it?
Gotham City. Yeah, that wasn't a Gotham City
Then it's been a
Sirens.
long time. By the way, we didn't talk about it, but there was another report of Birds of Prey possibly being greenlit,
Yes.
and it won't have Harley in it, and that's why Margot Robbie said there's nothing in the works right now.
Yeah.
So
I think they're working towards like the traditional Birds of Prey, with Batgirl and Journey, and
yeah. So I'm down for that if that happens, because it should lead to a Birds of Prey versus Gotham City Sirens.
Yep.
But anyway, and they're working on both of them at the same time, which would be perfect, actually. Kind of like what they're doing with Shazam and Black Adam. So, anyways, so yeah, essentially, very quick read. They're trying to get Ivy out of the city, and they beat the shit out of. I don't even know what this character's called, but she
is. Let's see here. I know that they have her name somewhere in here. I'm looking.
But yeah, so they're beating the shit out of her, and at the very end of the book, we find out that they have a whole truck worth of sex robots. So there's a whole bunch of these chicks. I thought this was a real person. I didn't know it was a robot. But essentially, yeah, they got a bunch of robots that are going to go, I'm assuming, or androids or whatever, that are going to go fuck up Catwoman and everybody.
Wow, they don't have her name in this at all.
I believe they said it in that first book, but I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of these sexy robot ladies at the end of the book, and the next issue is called Witchcraft. So we'll see what happens. But you know, I'm gonna be missing Ram V on this book. I hope this next person is really good, because we haven't had two good writers on Catwoman back to back in a really long time. You know, unfortunately, Joelle Jones did not live up to our expectations. Her art's amazing. What has she been doing lately?
I don't know. I was wondering who is going to be, if the art team was going to stay the same in this book.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm always down for an improvement. I mean, I like the style with the story. Like, I think it fits really well. But yeah, for the most part, that is it. I don't know how many more issues we have with Ram V. Is he just finishing Fear State and then he's done?
I think so.
That's unfortunate. Doesn't get to go out on his own terms. But, you know, it is what it is. But now, let's go ahead and dive into Batcats. This, I said a few weeks ago that I read this book and I was like, all right, I want to talk about it with Clay, because I think there's some questionable things that happen in it that I don't know if Clay's going to like, and I wanted to see. What did you think of this ending?
So the ending was the fact that hold on. Oh yeah, the fact that freaking the son of a freaking what's her name?
Phantasm?
Yeah, Phantasm.
Andrea Beaumont? Yeah.
Yeah, Beaumont. That's the name I was trying to think of. Is the actual brother of this random family?
Yeah, so like, did she have two kids, or is it a...
So I was very confused by that. I wasn't exactly sure what the hell was going on near the end of this. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Tom King's middle section always gets a little weird.
Yes.
Like, between like 7 and 8, it's always
and it's a very clear misdirect. That's what he always does. He shoots for the misdirect so that way the ending has that much more of a punch.
Yeah,
when
book 11.
When it finally happens. But the ending is Beaumont getting choked out by Joker and presumably dying.
Yeah, do you think that that's why Selina is so fucked up towards Joker?
Ooh.
Because like there's a and that's not even what I was actually telling you. Like, the crazy thing is because we saw Selina in this book find Joker's dead body, rip him apart, and put him on a Christmas tree. Like, that's the thing I was curious that you were gonna... I was wondering if you saw that or paid attention to it.
Wait, what? Hold on. Hold the fucking phone.
Yes!
That's not what happened.
It is. Go to the page where it's just the Christmas tree. His head's on the top of the tree.
What the fuck?
That's about?
Holy shit! I
Yes.
completely missed.
I was like, I thought you were gonna go to that, not the Beaumont thing.
Well, you said the ending. That is like the middle of the fucking book.
Yeah, well, that's what I remembered. Because that's the most shocking thing in this book. She ripped him limb from limb and put his guts and stuff around the tree.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So that means Joker did something so heinous, or maybe he did kill Andrea here, that Selena was like, I have to get him back. Like
death isn't even enough.
Yes. So, and like, I know a lot of people are like,
fuck.
Like juice. Because I feel like this is something I would get called out on, because people are going to be like, well, why aren't you so mad about Selena and what she did and blah, blah. Well, first of all, Selena already killed Joker. Like, that happened in the first book, or maybe the second book. So, like,
it happened in the first, but then it was confirmed in the second. Yes.
Yes. So, like, that already happened. But, like, the one thing I need to remind people of Catwoman is, like, Batman and Catwoman are perfect together, but Catwoman had to change so much of herself, like, you know, to try to fit into Batman's world. And she lived by his rules forever. And she was like, all right, you don't want me to kill? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do any of this. Like, and for the most part, Selena usually wasn't somebody that took a life. But I'm pretty sure if you go back and read enough continuity, she's probably killed before. You know what I mean? And Batman's probably like, it was self-defense, or, you know, whatever. Legally, probably not a bad thing. But so I think some people might question that. But just imagine having to hold on to a grudge for 20 or 30 years. You know what I mean? And seeing the Joker, and then imagine the person that you love is so resistant to putting this person down that you can't stand, or somebody that wronged you. You know what I mean? And it's what people live with today. You know what I mean? Like, people that are sexually assaulted, that, you know, they know who their assaulter is, but they can't do anything about it because the law isn't on their side, or the law can't prove it. And they just have to, like, sit there for the rest of their life and fester with it. And sometimes they take the law into their own hands. You know what I mean? And so, like, it's very, very crazy. And it's not out of the realm for Selena. But now, and I think this is what good storytelling does, it makes me question, what did the Joker do? You know what I mean? Because, like, this
I
is
think he killed Andrea.
I would assume that too, but there's no way she dies in book 8. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a little too soon.
No.
Book 8's fine for her to die in right now?
I think, okay, so she dies in 8, right? Or again,
she'll probably die in 9.
It's teased and then confirmed in 9. Okay. Yeah. So then you have 2 more issues to figure out, okay, how does Catwoman deal with those next few moments? Mm-hmm. Because that's the question.
Yeah.
Right? Is, okay, we see that she clearly is like, hey, Joker doesn't need to just die. He needs to be humiliated in death.
Yeah.
That's why she has now put his body parts onto this Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be
But to get to that point, she has to either witness and or find out what Joker did.
Yeah.
And I think there's a confrontation between Joker and Catwoman prior to, of course, his death.
Yeah.
When they were younger, in like the modern time in 11. That is going to make you be like, to the point where she is okay with leaving him alive until the perfect moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I mean, unless, because don't forget, this is still a love story book, or supposed to be, between, you know, Batman and Catwoman. So
you say that, but like,
yeah, it's been pretty fucked up so far.
This issue, but even this issue, she was like, oh, you get mad at me, and then you fuck me, and then you get mad at me again, and then you fuck me again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, what kind, like, this is the love story of both Catwoman and Batman? Like,
I mean, they're pretty kinky people. I mean, they go around. They're in suits. You know, they mentioned it before, and they go around in rodent suits
But also,
around.
here's a genuine question, because I don't know how you think of King and his relationships after this, but like King has been put on the record that he writes Catwoman as if it's his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see these stories and you're
Oh,
like,
has he said that? I've never heard
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said that on Word Balloon. He's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I imagine Catwoman like he said something along the lines of like, the Batman and Catwoman relationship is loved in such a way that like I would love my own wife. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the relationship between the two. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then somebody made this comment. Of course, it was somebody who doesn't like Tom King.
Yeah.
But when you kind of read these stories, especially this issue, you're
Mm-hmm.
like, King, if this is how your relationship is with your wife, you need to like get some shit straight. Like,
Yeah. Either that.
not in a jokingly way. I'm
Yeah,
not
for
saying that
sure.
you're
For
like
sure.
fucked up or anything. It's just like, god damn.
Yeah, it's either that or Tom King fucks a lot. So, that's you can take it as one of two ways. One of two ways, right? Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like that's very, and I think that's how people pull from their relationships, right? Like this is
Yes.
what you do. It's the
And
realest shit
I
you can
will
know.
say this. You told me before I even read this, you said that the art style is so much better than what issue 7 was.
Yeah,
And I have to agree. I
yeah,
like this Liam Sharp rather than the Liam Sharp that we got last issue.
yeah, and it's weird because why is it so different? Like,
Okay, no, so there is, if you even Google search Future State Catwoman,
mm-hmm,
that first cover
yeah,
is Liam Sharp. And it looks nothing like the last issue. And it looks nothing like the inside of this issue. Like,
huh?
if
Let
you
me
look
check.
it up right now, he is a chameleon when it comes to his art. And I don't know why he changes so dramatically like that. Future
Let's
State, not
see.
Fear State.
Yeah, I put in Future State. The one where she's on the train?
Yeah.
That's him?
Yeah.
It says V and Schmidt.
Yes,
But that's
because
his cover
Ramby
though?
wrote it and Schmidt did the interior art.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really
Damn, I would have preferred that.
yeah.
Huh.
It is
Weird.
absolutely insane how much of a chameleon he genuinely is when it comes to the art.
I typed in this Liam Sharp, and you know how it always gives you like ads at the very top? There's like a random cover of Catwoman in like a BDSM type of suit with Black Cat in a very precarious position.
Nice.
I'm like, what is that? I was like, I would read that crossover. That's the only crossover I want from Marvel and DC. But yeah,
But
anyways,
I
so
well, the big thing with this book, you know, we already joked around about the whole like, you fuck me, then you get mad at me. You fuck me and get
yeah,
mad at me. And we go along with the story of like Joker kidnapping people. This is now in the like the prime timeline or whatever.
yeah,
I will say there's two panels. One where Batman is jumping down to save the individual,
mm-hmm.
and then the other one where he like brings him back up.
Yeah,
Those two panels are perfect. Like, I think those look really, really good. But like,
yeah,
there's this dude that has his neck slit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Joker told me to tell you this," and that's it. And he falls,
yeah,
and Batman's like, "He was dead the moment he started talking to us," like kind of
mm-hmm.
thing. But like, Catwoman's like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah,
you can play your little superhero thing. Like, I'm kind of done with you." And
yeah.
I'm just like, God damn.
And she's always been pretty jaded like that at times. And I think that's what makes their relationship even better is when you do see the loving side of Catwoman. Like we always talk about it. That conversation she had with Damien during the pre-wedding
God damn.
issues
We
is so
got
fucking good.
robbed. We got
Yeah.
robbed.
Yeah, we should have got that. Fucking Tynan. Like if Tynan knows how to build relationships unlike his master. And
Yeah.
so like I we could have got that, and yeah, I just don't know. I feel like that's the biggest mark there. Like having a mother-son relationship with Damien more than Talia did, and then if you wanted to have some drama, have Talia come in and be like, "You're not the mother to my son," and then you could have Damien kind of be like, she's been more of a mother to me than you ever have. Like, ooh, like that would be fucking, like shit like that. That's gold, and it's so easy to write. And DC's like, no, Batman needs to be alone. He's gotta do all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. Maybe that's why books aren't selling, because everybody's like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. So, but anyways, but for the most part, what do you think of the Dick Grayson stuff of him like smoking and all that jazz? Like, how do you feel? Because it seems like he's not Nightwing anymore. He's just
No,
cop.
he is just the commissioner.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the back and forth between him and Helena
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of like, you know, because this whole thing was he tries the pipe and he's like,
Yeah.
like I kind of get why Gordon like ran to this thing
Yeah.
because it's a stressful job.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of just talking about this in your stream the other day about like how people can, unfortunately go the route of like either heavily drinking or heavily
Yeah.
smoking, to each their own, of course. But like what does he say? He says, because Helena's like, wait, you smoke now?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I never understood Gordon every day poisoning himself with these things, even on his deathbed. I remember him asking a nurse for a light, but now I get it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a stressful fucking job, And I think that shows a side of Dick Grayson that you never really thought you could see,
Yeah.
because we know Dick Grayson as this like just like a hunk of a dude, and he's like
Mm-hmm.
he's the suave dude, and he's always going to be Nightwing.
Yeah.
Like being commissioner is almost like being retired
Yeah.
for any superhero. Like if they were to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be a beat cop, like
Yeah.
that's just like a
Yeah.
fucking Sunday afternoon for any superhero.
And I think you could make the argument that a lot of the Bat family, Batman would probably outlast all of them. You know what I mean? Before they call it quits.
Yeah.
Like, because he has a reason. Like, he became Batman because of his parents' death, and he will do that until the day he dies, and that's kind of the way Tom King wrote it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And or of course, if you've read that awesome Batman Beyond book that we read recently,
Yeah.
it'll be until the day he dies. And I think I could see like Tim Drake, because we've had stories of Nightwing thinking about not being, Robin anymore, obviously, and he becomes Nightwing. We've had Tim Drake quit before.
Yeah.
We know Stephanie's chilled out. Orphan's always kind of just been Orphan. But I could, and then a lot of people think, you know what, Damien's probably going to be evil later. I don't know why that's always the thing, and then I would assume fucking Jason Todd would just die again. Like, I don't think he would make it to old age. Although Old Red Hood might be a really good story.
That would be interesting.
By somebody that knows how to fucking write characters.
Red Hood.
Yeah.
Nobody from Titans.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, I think King really develops these characters, because another thing that's really good about this stuff is we're not going to see these characters ever really fully develop. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a Commissioner Nightwing book, which that would probably be better than the Joker book we're getting. That's all about Gordon.
Yeah.
And we're probably never going to get a future Helena book where she is Batwoman or whatever she goes by. Maybe she goes by Batman in this future. Who knows? Because there hasn't been a Batman. Where's Damien? That's the one thing I was really hoping Tom King would hit on. Where's Damien?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I would love to hear. But I want to say the one thing that was really intriguing about this book, and like I feel like Tom King has these deep conversations in a lot of his books, and it really makes you think, and I think that's what makes his writing so well, is there's this moment where Selina's drinking with Joker while he's getting dressed to be Santa Claus, and she asks him, am I responsible for your bad shit? Like, the people you kill, am I responsible for it? And he says, if you're walking by a drowning child and you ignore her, is it your fault she drowns? Obviously, yes. it will haunt you for the rest of your life. And what if that girl could have been what that girl could have been and done? Maybe she saves the world. And then he's like, but then maybe right now there's a starving girl somewhere out there, and all that's separating her from death are a few dollars. Like when you were little, Selena, my darling, and everywhere people were walking around buying toys and cars and bubblegum. So he's essentially doing that thing. Like, what if you save baby Hitler? You
Well,
know what I mean?
but also he is doing the classic like, oh, don't waste your food. There's people starving in
Yeah.
like because do you remember that as a kid? Like I hated
Yeah.
when fucking family said that. It's like and he's essentially saying the exact same thing.
Mhm.
You can't like there's somebody across the world that is starving right now,
Yeah.
but you don't know it. So
Mhm.
are you still responsible for it?
Yeah.
No. But are you responsible for the things that you actually witness? Kinda.
Yeah.
So I think that is why. And it's very clever how he did it because you see the Christmas tree
Mhm.
before this. You see
Yes.
you see the Christmas tree before this conversation.
Mhm.
So, if you connect the dots, she's responsible for something he did.
Yeah. Which could
And
have been Andrea's death.
exactly.
And it's very positive. Did you notice the bat symbol in Joker's face with the Santa Claus? There's like a
Oh shit.
small hint of a bat
Yeah.
in with the shadows. Yeah, so this is really interesting because she's like, fuck, she's kind of thinking about it. And you got to remember it too. Like, he literally just said, if you don't save the girl, you'll think about everything she could have been. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So maybe, yeah, she didn't save Andrea, or she didn't do this. So she's living with it. She was like, man, I could have saved Andrea. Or if I would have listened to Batman, Andrea might be alive. Or her kid might be alive. Her other kid's brother or whatever. Because I don't know if Joker's not going to just off all these other people too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we don't even know if this is Joker's fucking climax here. Like, he could kill somebody else. You know what I mean? We don't know what happened to Damien. What if he kills Damien? Like, if Damien, although I feel like it would be bad to just insert Damien at the very end. That would be terrible writing.
Just so that way he could die? Fuck.
Yeah. But, like, it would be very interesting to see where this goes. Because I wouldn't be surprised. We had a theory, and I still think it's still going past, present, future. But before we even read issue 1, we thought there would be like single era issues, like
Yeah.
one in the past, one in the future, one in that. But it doesn't seem like that's happening.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. They could really force a lot of that on the next 2 issues before we get to that ultimate, penultimate issue. But yeah, I think it's really intriguing, man. And I gotta say, like, some of this shit's really fucking dark. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Like,
So,
and which makes you wonder, like, because again, a lot of people say that it's a trope of Tom King to write a little bit of the darker stories.
yeah.
Rorschach did not end great,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of like happy or sad
Yeah.
or whatever. Strange did not at all.
Yeah.
And
I
you
guess
can make
depending on how you look at it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say you can make an argument, but for the main title character, no, it did not. So is that what we have to look forward to in Human Target? Like,
I don't know. I just put that on my list today when I went to the comic shop. So we'll see. But Human Target has to deal with the Justice League, right? Like, I wonder if
there's Justice League International, so it's completely different.
But could it be something along the lines? And I think Tom King's mentioned that he would never write something like this. But could it be like Identity Crisis crazy? Since Tom King says that's like the one area he won't go to, I think, or he doesn't go to.
I think it's a very safe decision to not go into that direction. I think because even Ron Mars, the writer of Identity Crisis, has said that he would not be allowed to write that story today.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. And I'm not saying like, oh, we need those stories. That's not what I'm saying. But because
But the heavy subject matter is something that needs to
to be
like
covered
to
sometimes.
and in the same way that like kind of how Tom Taylor is like, hey, you know how there's people starving in the world and there's
Yeah.
like poverty and all of this and like having superheroes like be able to fix that? Well,
Yeah.
like, what if they weren't able to fix that?
Hmm.
That's what Identity Crisis did,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
he brought some of those issues around, uh, which I think really and there's always the argument, well, I don't read my comics to get real world scenarios.
Yeah.
You know, I read it for the fantasy. But like freaking Philip Johnson, the
Hmm.
dude that's writing Action Comics right now,
Yeah.
straight up said that Man of Steel and Henry Cavill's Superman is unrelatable because of how real it is.
Hmm. Interesting.
And he said that he's like, that isn't who Superman is. Superman
Hmm.
is perfect in every single way. And if he has flaws, it destroys the idea of Superman.
Oh, that's kind of a dumb point.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I think it's very very
Yeah.
dumb.
But to
Um,
go back to the fantasy thing though, because I do hear that a lot, right? Here's the thing is when people say that, it's usually said in a selfish way, right? Like it's I don't read comic books for that. You know what I mean? But
yes,
your fantasies are different than my fantasies. I'm over here reading High School DxD. You know what I mean? Like you got different fantasies, okay? But like that's the thing. Even if you read like as the way I put it, right, is because everybody says you can't write that or you can't do that because this and that. But like in comedy, right, they say a lot of comedians write about shit they know. And, you know, we see Dave Chappelle right now getting a lot of flack for his jokes, but he had a very good message at the end of his special. But who are you to tell somebody not to be able to write about something if it happened to them? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, if they went through it, like Tom King writes a lot of shit because he went through a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Everybody just kind of discredits this man went to go help us fight the war on terror after 9/11. Like, everybody just kind of pushes that to the side. They're just kind of like, whatever, Tom King, blah, blah, blah. But he's probably seen some shit. We don't
Yeah.
know if Tom King's actually killed a man because that stuff's probably all on fucking, records that we'll never
Which
see.
is why like we got a little bit of it in that random Gotham Knights book. But I
Mhm.
would love to see Tom King write a Kate Kane Batwoman.
Yeah, we've mentioned that many a times on this podcast. I think it would be great. I wouldn't mind him doing Sheriff of Babylon too. A lot of people have been waiting for that because
Yeah.
Sheriff of Babylon was really good. But yeah, man, as always, resident slob on the knob King fan here. I enjoyed this book. When I saw that page turn of the Christmas tree, I was like,
Dude, I guess it all just blended in for me. I was just like,
yeah,
oh, it's a Christmas tree. Ho ho
yeah.
ho. Okay, I get it.
I I feel like Clayton Mann would have really defined it in
Yeah.
his art. You know what I mean? Because he makes shit pop.
And
It takes 2 years for him to do it, but
so I think that Clay Mann wouldn't have had a bird's eye view. I think Clay
yeah.
Mann would have had a POV or a worm's eye view. So
Mhm.
that way you can really see the body parts like dangle or
Well,
whatever.
he might have just redid since it's Dick Grayson. He might have done what he did with Catwoman, where he had the ass shot and Joker on the tree. It might have been Dick Grayson's ass
But he
with
would
the
have had the
shot.
trench coat, so the ass wouldn't have mattered.
You got it blows in the wind, you
You would
know?
have had Helena's ass
Yes,
in there.
probably. Oh, and her
That's
thong. As remember when everybody got mad about that? Oh, she's
oh
wearing a
shit.
thong, blah, blah. Yeah,
You
I
can
love
see
her
the
thong.
thong underneath her bat suit.
Yeah. So,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
what do they think that they wear, though? Like, honestly, like wrestlers wear tight stuff under their tights. Like,
Yeah.
do they think Dick Grayson is just freeballing it in his fucking suit? Like, you
I
know
feel
how
like that
rough
would
that would
hurt.
be? Yeah. Like, especially if you get punched in the dick. Like,
Fuck.
oh, GG. Like, it's over. Kill me now. But yeah, I don't know, man. We get one more Liam Sharp issue, and then it'll probably take 2
The
years to
return
get
of
the last
Clayman.
Clayman issues. Has he posted anything on Twitter?
I haven't
Um,
seen anything on Twitter. I am reluctant to see what he has posted on Instagram, though.
oh, see, I haven't seen anything. So I'm going to his stuff right now, and oh man, look, he's got some a Catwoman boobies, and
Oh
I'm like, oh
shit!
man. So he's got something popping out there. Not her boobs. I didn't mean that, but like, he has Batman with 3 batarangs. He's posted that. I'm assuming these are going to be covers, knowing like what he does, but yeah, I was kind of sad that they didn't really talk about anything or they didn't have anything for fucking,
Oh, so he does
Fandom.
say the Joker cat for cover number 9.
Oh, okay. Oh, what? That's gonna be weird. Uh, so, oh my god, if Tom King were to write something like that, I'd be so pissed, dude. You would see me turn on
So
Tom King
so
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 fast.
what if? What if? Because like I think that's the it's almost the like you just said, like the no, like
Hmm.
you don't do that. But I feel like that's what a lot of people probably assumed when this
Hmm.
book first started, because they were
Oh, that
spending
they
a
banged it out.
lot of time together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like also as weird as it sounds,
Mhm,
and I mean I'm not gonna judge Joker,
mhm.
but I don't think he gets off sexually the same way that a lot of other individuals do.
Yeah, no, if you go back and read Joker, he usually likes to abuse his women or, for lack of a better word, rape them, is kind of what the Joker does.
But that's what I mean. He doesn't have like genuine sexual relations.
Yeah,
So like I don't know how I would feel if King was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make this happen in just at
yeah,
least one issue." So that way there's even more tension with Bat and
yeah.
Cat. Like that would be weird.
Yeah, I would talk so much shit. And the reason why too is not just because I love these characters, but it's because it's so out of the realm for Tom King. Like he's usually somebody that is like, all right, I know what these characters are. I've read a lot about them. I've grew up on them. I know what to do and not to do with these characters. Like he's taken some liberties, right? But like usually it's for the sake of the story. I don't think you could get that much out of Catwoman and Joker doing it or hooking up. Like, what would they just really do? Cause another fight between Batman and Catwoman? Like,
Yeah, exactly. It would genuinely just be for the tension
yeah.
between the two characters.
And I don't think that really helps. Like, there's enough tension as it is. Like, just with him, like, she knows about the Joker and all this stuff, and she doesn't tell him. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? But it's also like Selena has been one of those people that, she grew up with bad people, so she thinks that they're different. Whereas Bruce grew up with usually nice people, and he kind of, he's a goody two shoes when it comes to justice. So, like, but then again, like, is this a different twisted way of like the way Selena probably knows the Joker is a fucking terrible person, but is it the same way that Bruce thinks that villains can change? Is that her way of sticking around these bad people, or does she just keep her enemies close? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because at least if she hangs out with Joker, she knows where he's at, and she's not like worrying around her back or whatever. Like, oh fuck, is he gonna kill me? Because Joker does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so it's intriguing, man. This is issue 8. We got 5 more to go. We probably won't finish this book until summer of 2022. Maybe, because you remember we get that Christmas issue in December.
That's true. Have
So
we hold on. Actually, let's actually
because knowing Clayman, if he's a fucking tortoise in the hair race right now, we're getting it in December. So that means we would get the last Liam Sharp book in November, and then maybe January, February, March if we're on schedule. But if it's like any of the recent Tom King books, the last 3 issues usually go by monthly. So
damn, we do not get one in January.
yeah. Oh, is that
Because
already out?
the solicitations for January? Yeah.
Yeah.
We do get a
So
lot of
are
Batman
we
books
getting that
though.
one in December though? The Christmas one?
I believe so. let's see here.
Because I'm assuming we get Liam Sharp's other one in November.
Let's look at it. December solicitations for DC 2021. Just gonna go ahead. Batman.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm very intrigued. I think I will have to say, solid week for Catwoman this week. You know,
Yeah.
usually we're dealing with a lot of Batman, and she's usually a side piece in a lot of this stuff. But like you said, man, Lonely City is probably going to be in the top maybe 3 books of the year easily.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of what else came out this year. Like, I'd have to go through the list, but I don't remember one book where
I'm
I was
already
just like,
I'm the kind of person that's already thinking about that.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, fuck. There was, again, that conversation that happened last week. Like, there's like 98% shit. And then like that 2% is very far and in between,
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be like some random stories that were really good. Like, I think that Batman Beyond is easily in my top 5 of the year.
So I don't even see the Catwoman special.
Really?
The Christmas special.
Yeah. Damn.
Unless it's randomly in November.
Oh, and then we don't even get Liam Sharp's? That would be crazy. Oh, that was supposed to be issue 6 or 7, or between issue 6 and 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that would be really weird. Because isn't like George drawing that one, or is it?
I think it's Fornes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see where that goes.
Batcat 9 is going to be in November.
Okay. So then we may not even get that one in December. So yeah.
Wait, hold on. They're resetting it because it's October.
Mm-hmm.
November is next month.
Yeah.
It was every other month. Now they're resetting the schedule by doubling it up. So instead of
you sure it was every month? I thought they just took summer off. They just took the summer off. So like they got fucked by Future State.
Oh, that's
because we got the first book in December, then in January, and then we didn't get one in February or March, if I'm not mistaken. Then we got it in April, May, and then they took June and July off, didn't they? And then I think we got one at the end of August, September.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But what about freaking? That's only 9. It's 12 issues plus the Christmas special.
Yeah. So I would assume the Christmas special should come out in December.
Should, but it's not in the solicitations, so we'll see.
And then
they could just randomly throw it out there.
Yeah, and then if they go bi-monthly, because I don't think Clay's done.
Yeah, no. So if it's bi-monthly, then that's February, April, June. Wow.
Yeah, summer. Yeah.
Summer of 2022.
And I was telling Rob at the comic shop, I was like, you should have just made me wait instead of giving me Liam Sharp. Like, I would have rather you just made me wait. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have done the 6 issues, released the hardcover of part 1 to hold me over, and then drop 7, 8, 9 with Clayman later on. I just can't, man. I need to get a bajillion dollars so I can just offer him money. Like, fix it. I need this fucking fixed, Clay. I need you to take a year, 2 years off. A year should cover 3 issues the way he draws. So I'm like, I need you to take a year off DC. I'm going to pay you, and you're going to finish this fucking series. Throw in some extra sex scenes for me just for spice. But like, damn, man. It's, I don't know. I'm still mad about that. Still so mad. But it is what it is. But for the most part, solid week, man. Solid week of comics. Crazy news and sadly disappointment in fandom. It's kind of sad. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens next week. And I just saw something right before we got on this podcast that they are casting right now for a young Batgirl. So possible Batman, Batgirl, Robin stuff maybe, or just maybe young Gordon and
maybe
daughter?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I would not be surprised if we get some Nightwing hints in there. I'm just saying. I would not be surprised.
Probably. Like,
I
because
think Nightwing's going to be an HBO Max movie at this point.
I have a prediction.
Oh, okay.
Well, I said it to you, but I want to make it a formal prediction, and I am probably way off. But I think whoever is Batman, regardless of what the Flash does,
yeah,
I think that Batman is gone from Gotham, and Batgirl takes it upon herself to defend Gotham, while in his absence. And freaking, because that's something we didn't talk about.
That's what you think is going to happen in her movie or the DC?
Yeah, in her movie.
Oh, okay.
And Jacob, whatever, freaking villain from Bad Boys. I think he is the male version of the comic book Arkham Knight.
You know what I was just thinking about? He could easily be Firefly, because that's the villain. So,
well, scratch that. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Jesus. I just thought of that right now, because I texted Clay because we heard the comments over the weekend that the directors confirmed that Batman will be in Batgirl. I don't know how it's going to be. Maybe he's going to be in the shadow, but apparently this is Batman, nothing crazy, weird, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was all like, and then days later, they cast the villain in their Bad Boys movie. And I just texted Clay just for stupid shits and giggles. I was all like, Latino Batman. Then I went and looked that he's actually Indian and English. And I was all like, oh, what the fuck? Because in the movie, I think he played a Latino, if I'm not mistaken,
he did.
right?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Because like it was all in Mexico or Brazil or some shit. And so I was like, oh shit. And I was like, Latino Batman. And we were having a discussion of like who he could be. And then I think that's where you came up with your Arkham Knight theory, right? But yeah, I just completely forgot that Firefly is supposed to be the villain. That's a rumored villain, which I think will be cool. It adds for a lot of practical effects, which I think will be pretty awesome. That was the one thing we saw in Fandom, was it may not be the Burnside suit, which would be really nice.
The concept art looks like the Gail Simone New 52 suit, which I am looking forward to, if that's
for sure. Because they did confirm that it's not going to be the mask Batgirl, where she just has it over her eyes. It'll be a full cowl. Apparently, I think she asked for that. I don't know if that's what she was talking about on Fandom. She was like, am I getting the actual like helmet of Batgirl and stuff? So that's pretty awesome. And they are doing that. And in her interview, she had a statue, which I believe was a Sideshow collectible statue of Batgirl in the back of her stuff, and that was the the Batgirl like black and gray version of her. So I'm excited to see her suit, man. Like, and it seems like she said she was doing a lot of training, and there's going to be a lot of action in this movie. So hopefully a lot of practical effects, nothing too crazy, CGI wise. And I think that would make a Batgirl thing. Now, the only thing I hope for is that the fighting looks good, because as much as like,
I need to know who the choreographer is for this.
Yeah. I feel like the John Wick guy is always the main dude, but the John Wick fighting is getting really annoying to me. Like, it's just a bunch of like rolling on the ground and doing all this kind of stuff. Like, I just want to see Batgirl kicking ass, but I don't want it to look lame.
Give me the choreographer for BVS. Like,
that'd be fire.
She won't be able to pull off what Ben did in BVS, but I mean, if she can get close, that'll still be badass.
Yeah, that would be awesome. You'd see her do the same thing by pulling a crate. Fuck, that'd be crazy.
Small ass fat girl.
Yeah, because she looks tiny. Like she does, thin,
but like she has commented. Hilarious. She has commented on like how much she is training and doing what she can to like be ready for Batgirl.
Like, 100%. So much better in a suit. So we're excited about that. But anyways, Clay, what do you got going on this week?
So this week, I unfortunately will be reviewing Titans again on Monday at DC Alliance. We'll be talking about that. We are actually doing a giveaway for Earth 1, Volume 1 and 2 of Teen Titans during that discussion. So come join us over at the Geekverse YouTube channel to possibly win. You have to be there live in the chat to be able to do that. So that will be Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just remember that. But after that, next week is kind of chill for me. There's nothing really huge happening. Of course, I will be reviewing this new book from Star Wars on Star Wars Alliance next week as well, Star Wars Ronin, which is based off of the first episode of Star Wars Visions, but they actually continue the story. So
Oh,
this individual author had the chance to like create their own Star Wars universe because it is an Elseworld type of story. It's
yeah.
like a what if, but it genuinely feels like I'm reading like Rurouni Kenshin in the Star Wars universe. It's
Hmm.
weird. So
Nice.
really really fun. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. So on the Geekverse YouTube channel, just make sure you're subscribed. But other than that, nothing else.
Noise. Yeah, so I've been posting a lot of content on my YouTube channels. I would love your feedback, people. I've been trying out a lot of new stuff. It was funny because like I've been asking a lot of people for feedback. I'm like sending videos like, yo, what'd you think of the new style and this? So if you guys ever watch any of my videos and you enjoyed something or you didn't enjoy something, please let me know in the comment section because I'm always trying to improve. But I've been posting on my reaction channel and my gaming channel, usually Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Of course, one thing we did want to point out, if you've lasted this long in the podcast, y'all, we appreciate it for one thing, but we want to get more engagement on the YouTube channel.
Yes,
So we want you guys to start leaving us questions. Maybe something that happened, maybe something like that. We will try to, I think maybe we take the best question of the week and we talk about it on the podcast.
that would be
I think that'd
fun.
be something cool. And if we can't get to your question, we'll try to answer it in the comment section. So yeah, or you can just ask it again the following week. And we'll make sure we're not picking the same person all the time, unless you're the only person that's commenting. So if you guys want to have questions for us to answer it or maybe bring in discussions, and you know what, they don't need to be serious. If you want to do a would you rather kind of question or something like that for us, we'll be down for those too. It just makes the podcast fun. But that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. As always, he is Fanboy Clay. I am Juice Wayne, and remember, Batman is awesome.